You are part
National lockdown. Lockdown. The Lockdown Companion.
Is my microphone loud enough now?
It's perfect, mate. I got you loud and clear.
Excellent.
Oh, 23.
Dude, number 23.
23. Who'd have thought it, ah?
So that's 23 lockdowns we've done now.
Yeah. Should probably tally up the hours again, just because it would be kind of interesting. But I think I worked it out last time, so it was like basically 23 times 2, weren't it? Because it's like 2 hours.
Right.
So what's that? 46.
So
roughly 46 hours.
Did you know the world spins on an axis of approximately 23 degrees?
Is that right?
Yep. Did you know the average human being has exactly 23 chromosomes in their DNA?
I did know that.
Okay, you did know that.
Oh, fuck. I hope you haven't been on the same website as me today. I prepared a quiz for you.
100%. That website being Google and the internet. About Shakespeare, the 23-sided shape.
No, I didn't see that one.
Maybe
it is a different website. That's funny.
I've got all these facts here. That would be a good way to start. That's boring, isn't it?
Well, I was going to do... I got 6 questions, if you want to do them, about the number 23.
Dude, let's do it before... I've probably got the answers in front of me now as well. But...
I think you have. I think you might have, to be honest. All right. So I prepared. Oh, we'll get into the ins and outs of everything else as well after, shall we? Shall we, make sure we're all right and stuff like that? Okay, so 6 questions that are about or around the number 23.
Okay.
Question 1. Play along at home, ladies and gentlemen.
Play along at home.
I mean, what else are you going to do? Okay. Question 1. The number 23 was a mystery thriller movie that hit the box office in 2007. Who was the lead actor?
Well, alrighty then. That was Jim Carrey. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
But I actually knew that because of my obsession with the number 23, obviously, when I watched that film.
Okay, that's good. All right, man, you can have a point. That's 1. 1 for 1 right now. All right, question 2. David Beckham famously wore the number 23, but at which football club?
Oh. See, I'm not much of a football guy, but I'm about to reveal myself as that. Is it Manchester United?
Oh, good guess, man. I mean, that's what I'd have said because I didn't know he played anywhere else other than that. But the correct answer actually is Real Madrid.
Oh, there you go. What a G, he went over there. Wow.
Cashing in, bro, getting that money.
Who knew?
Pre-YouTube, you had to travel the world. Number 3. How many daughters did Adam and Eve have?
23.
Correct.
If any of the questions are like, did they really have 23? Yeah.
I mean, I weren't there, but apparently.
And then we've all come from that.
Yeah.
No wonder we're all fucked up. Inbreeding,
Question
dude.
4. What are you for? 2 for 3. You're 2 for 3. Okay. In 2020, what was Michael Jordan's net worth?
Oh, man.
Don't you look at that screen, cheeky.
No, I'm trying to think because I read an article on him being a billionaire, but I don't think that net worth isn't the same as that, is it? Oh, I don't know.
If anyone was even
should I just put
having the
billionaire
conversation,
because he was worth $1 billion.
Yeah, you can totally cheat. 2.1 billion.
2.1 billion.
A lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money.
I wonder if he made more money with, in fact, you might know this, out of basketball or sneakers.
I think he made a fair bit of money everywhere. But do you know he was quite smart? He was one of the first athletes to get paid in shares. So if a company didn't if a company didn't match what he asked for, then he would say, okay, well, that's fine,
Yeah.
but then also give me a share in that company.
Okay, yeah, smart guy.
Yeah, could say so.
I'd say so. So you're what? We'll give you that one. 3 for 4.
I just said 1 billion, so I'm a whole 1.1 billion off. So if you give me that one,
Yeah,
you're
I know.
very kind.
Yeah, you could have just said like many dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Once it gets to a billion, though, I mean, honestly, like, you know.
I know. How much money do you need?
But genuinely, how much do you need? I understand that it's probably addictive,
Yeah.
but like,
It does make you wonder, man. I mean, obviously, it'd be nice to be in that position one day, I guess, or maybe it wouldn't. I don't know.
I don't know.
But to be able to even think that, like, to be able to think, have I got enough?
yeah.
I feel like so many people are just on that grind, aren't they? Of like just trying to get a bit more, just for that next house or that car or that whatever.
I think in his first divorce, he lost an obscene amount. I think it was
Really?
like 160 million or something like that.
God, wow. I mean, that's the move. Just get married to someone
Dude.
rich.
And you don't have to play any championships. You don't have to do
Nah,
all those
no hustling.
commercials.
Okay, question 5. How old was the Notorious B.I.G. when he was killed?
I thought he was 27. I didn't think he was. I thought he was 23.
Incorrect. The correct answer, in fact, is 24.
Ah, there you go. I thought he was part of that 27 club. There's that Kurt Cobain,
like
Amy
Winehouse
Winehouse.
and-
Who else is in there? Quite a few, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It's a weird. Kurt Cobain's in 27 Club.
Yeah. Weird one, that, isn't it? 27 club. Jimi Hendrix, another one.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix is in that as well.
I mean,
Yeah,
how
you're right,
young
it's a
are
lot.
you at 27? Already, even I'm 35 now, and
You know
27
what, though?
seems so young.
When
now.
when I saw that fact today, and I was looking at these really deep thought questions to ask, and I saw him, I thought as if he was 24 because he looks mid-40s in some photos. He looked old. I was like,
He was big, wasn't
maybe
he?
that's a typo, man. I might have just totally screwed that one up.
Yeah.
He might have been 42.
Well, let's research because I'm actually interested now.
Yeah, that seems so young though, for the
does,
amount of
doesn't it?
success
Yeah.
and the amount of like legacy that he's left to be 24. I mean, bro, I wasn't doing shit when I was 24.
Dude, it's so weird to think how fucking young some insanely famous people are, isn't it? Yeah, he was 24 years old. Yeah, 24.
That is crazy.
I mean, how long has he
Wow.
even been rapping by that point? You know?
It can't be that long. Obviously, yeah, it can't be that long. Crazy. But yeah, the amount. I guess there's not much song, like actual work out there. It's just that it's all kind of iconic, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong. Is there only like 2 albums or something?
Yeah, crazy. It's just
I mean,
they were good. And
physical songs that he put out, there's probably not that many, but they're all sort of like, iconic.
I love that clip of him freestyling. You seen that in the street? Really good.
No.
There's a really good clip of Biggie freestyling in the street. It's so cool. Just his voice
Really?
is so sick. It's kind
Yeah, it is.
of a weird one, isn't it? With someone like that, like so much of his so much of it was kind of just about like the sound of his voice. Or with a lot of like musicians, or I guess the same with models. Like the talent is no, it's a difficult one to compare. I don't know. I guess you're just given a voice though. Sometimes, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like his
Yeah, I
voice
guess-
sounded so sick.
Some people just have a voice that's not unrecognizable. It's recognizable. Like
Yeah.
no matter
And it
when you
ob-
hear that tune, you're like,
Yeah.
that's that guy.
And obviously he was amazing at rhyming and stuff, but like lots of people are amazing at rhyming. It's just like the combination.
Like Eminem's got that voice, right? You can
Yeah, it's only
just
one
got that
person, isn't it?
thing, that Eminem voice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny to think, isn't it? He's so cool. That video's so rad.
I mean, and to be able to freestyle, I think I've been watching loads of freestyle videos recently for some reason. I like watching them, like they're super interesting, and I really like Little Dicky. You heard of that guy, right?
No.
Okay, Little Dicky. It started off as like a joke. He's like a Jewish kid, but he's
Oh no, I have. Yeah, someone sent me that.
really good. Yeah, he's really, really good.
Yeah.
But just to have that brain that thinks that fast to like link words up and not even like stumble, and it's just insane. It's really cool.
Isn't it?
Should we do the final question?
Let's do
Because
the
you're
final
5 for
question,
4.
dude.
Are you 5 for 4? I don't know what you are anymore. So hopefully someone's keeping track. On average, how many seconds does it take blood to circulate the body?
23 seconds.
Yep.
Can't believe you put Biggie in the 23 quiz.
Well, I was trying to catch you out.
And that you did. I guess 27, that's how dumb I am.
Oh dear. Wow.
How are you? What have you been up to?
Yeah. Mate, I feel like hammered shit today, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it was Super
like
Bowl.
shit.
It was Super Bowl
Yeah,
evening
man.
for you, wasn't it?
Super Bowl evening last night, which,
Yeah.
you know, obviously I spent on my own, but I feel like hammered shit today. I don't know what's going on. Hence, I've got a Coke just trying to like wake me up. I was thinking about it today a little bit. I've not felt this bad for ages. I just feel like tired and just lethargic.
Yeah.
But I've not broken my routine for months and months. I haven't stayed up past 11 p.m. since like January last year, I don't think. I think, honestly, the last time I think I did it was with you at that Freedom Ride.
Yeah. Well, that's last time
Honestly,
for me
think
as well,
like I
dude.
do not stay up. I'm really like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. So I just go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I get up pretty early every day. So yeah, I feel like shit today. I think it's just, my body's just like, what's going on? Like, and I had 2 whole beers.
You
which
had
is-
so this hangover complaint is about over 2 beers.
2 Bud Lights.
And the third's left there,
The third tier still with the cap on it.
being just nursed.
I was going to have it. I was like, I'm going to treat myself to another beer, but I don't know if I want to feel this bad again.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I don't drink too often anymore. But it's
No.
like, I have a liver problem anyway, right? So I shouldn't drink
Oh, really?
anyway. Yeah. It's something goes on with my liver when I drink. So I shouldn't drink anyway. It does make me feel really shit the next day. I usually go like really jaundiced and get yellow eyes and stuff.
No way. What from drinking once?
It's
you just-
it's like it's this condition. Emma, my girlfriend, loves this because it's called a syndrome, and it's just hilarious that I might have got a syndrome. But the actual term is called Gilbert syndrome, and it's basically when my liver doesn't do something with bilirubin, which is what does something in your blood. So I end up going like, I was really jaundiced when I was born. It's like after that, so I have to eat. I genuinely do have to eat really well, at like lots of green veg and stuff like that, and I have to drink a lot of water. So hence why, I don't know if I ever spoke about this, but like I've got this like really weird water addiction sort of thing, where if I don't, I instantly feel thirsty. So I drink on average between 4 and 6 litres of water a day,
No
which is a
way.
lot, dude. Yeah,
That is
but
a
as soon as
shitload, isn't it?
it's a lot of water. But as soon as I don't, I feel awful.
So do you
something
piss
to do
the
with
whole
it's like-
time?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's so bad. Like, especially when I was previously doing my job on the road, and you just have to stop for a piss in like the most random of locations. You just like, I've got to go. Like, I've been driving for 2 hours. I've drank 2 litres of water or 3 litres of water.
Yeah.
I've got to go. So usually I'd have, you have to go to like Tesco or something and get the 5 litre plastic drum
Yeah.
of water. So I just used to have one of those in the van with me all the time, and that was my aim. Always drink that by the end of the day, and then I'd drink more.
And
it's
if
weird,
you don't,
dude.
you just feel really crap.
Just feel really lethargic, and like my eyes get this. It's really anyone who's got this syndrome, 'cause it is quite common,
Yeah.
will know this feeling that it feels like almost like it's like a pressure on the back of my eyes, and it feels like I just want to close my eyes and go to sleep. It's
Weird,
really
yeah.
weird. But then my eyes will go like yellow, and my skin will go a bit yellow and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, crazy, yeah. So, yeah, I have to drink a lot of water. So as soon as I mix a bit of alcohol in there, or anything other than water, to be honest, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I can't
have.
believe-
I
no,
think you just have to be
dude.
careful drinking like too much water, because you can flush out all the minerals and stuff, because that's what bad water does to you. It like lifts minerals out of your body, and it will like make you feel a lot worse. So you have to be careful that you're putting in good quality water as well.
Yeah.
Spring water, stuff like that, mineral water.
Not
Yeah.
like distilled water, because that's got everything
No, because
taken.
that's too.
Is that bad
That's
for you
too
then?
mineral
Yeah.
dense, isn't it? Yeah. I think if you drink a lot of that, that's pretty bad, because that's what that does. I think that lifts minerals out of your body,
Weird.
so you end up worse. Yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
People die drinking too much water.
Yeah, it's drowning, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially seawater. It's real bad.
You don't last long in sea, do you? Should we find out how long can you last on salt water? I'm interested.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is
I
interesting.
think it's really, really shockingly short period of time.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, that we haven't discovered a way of getting salt out of water?
We haven't we?
Have we?
Can't you just don't
you
you
can
just
drink
evaporate
seawater.
it and then it? No, you can't drink seawater. Oh, your body can't. Do you mean?
I don't think you can, like, filter seawater to drink it, can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, well, you just evaporate it, and then all the salt. So if you evaporated salt water, it just leaves all the crystals there. So then, if you put like a tent over a
What,
cup,
and then people drink it?
yeah, and it's just water then.
I've never.
What's it called? Is it called?
Am I stupid or what? I've like never heard of this.
Well, no, I feel stupid now. I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure, right? If you
Surely they'd market it as like seawater, you know, almost like sea salt. You're like, oh, sea salt. But what do they do with that water after the salt?
Well, I guess seawater is just water and salt, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, with
Why
all
is
these
it
health
salty?
praises and this and that, you know, surely people would be like, oh yeah, I got some, you know, seawater, some filtered seawater. I'm being totally stupid.
Well, dude, I don't.
Confusing.
No, you sound like some. It sounds like a thing that I would have got wrong as well. I might be wrong. I think
Can we
that
let
all
people
rain.
tell us, like?
No, dude, because all rain is just like evaporated seawater and groundwater and.
Yeah, but what I mean is actually taking water from the sea, bottling it, and selling it.
Oh, well, you'd just have to remove the salt. It'd be a shit drink otherwise.
So there's a company that does that or not? So that happens. Is that a thing? Like, can you buy it?
Well, I don't know, because like... Because surely it's all part of the water cycle is that it's evaporated and then... So even a spring is like seawater.
Yeah, but it's, what I mean is a physical company or process of taking water out of the sea, filtering it, and then selling it.
I reckon there's an evaporation company out there.
I don't know if there is, you know.
Commercial evaporation. What the fuck? I don't even know what to Google, dude.
Maybe we've just had the best idea ever. No one's ever thought of taking water from the sea. All these people starving, thirsty, and we're like, just take it out of the sea, idiots.
So in like one of those life rafts, I believe. So in like a life raft that's in like an ocean liner, I believe on those life rafts they will have ways of taking seawater and making it into and turning it into drinkable water, and it will involve
I don't think so.
heating it up and it condensing and then running down, and the salt crystals being left. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Dude, we shouldn't do this podcast. You literally like
You know
you
what's
sit
funny?
here making
Like,
yourself seem so dumb, and I get by normal everyday life without seeming this dumb, and then it comes to the podcast, and then
you know what's funny? Someone messaged like a week or so ago and said an Instagram DM. It was something along the lines of, "What I love about Lockdown Companion is it's like two stoners talking without any weed."
it is, isn't it? Yeah,
So
you're quite
true.
right. Yeah,
So true.
quite right.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if there was weed involved, dude. This thing would be a shit show.
Wouldn't be
Anyway,
very good, I don't think. I don't know. How
no
people
idea
do
about
it.
water. No clue. Absolutely no clue if that's a thing or not. So we'll let people tell us, because someone will know.
Plus,
There'll be
you'd
someone
probably turn
listening.
yellow.
Yeah, dude, I'd be yellow. Oh, man. Wow. So, yeah, what we talked about. Super Bowl party was good. Shit game.
Drinking, that was it. Yeah,
So, unfortunately, if anyone watched it, you probably know it wasn't like the best spectator game, to be honest. but-
wasn't it? No.
Nah, it's just sort of what happened was all a lot of people called that Tampa Bay had just shut down Kansas City, not let Mahomes do anything, and Tom Brady won another Super Bowl, 7, which is insane.
Wow.
Insane.
So is he
Anyway.
greatest of all time? He's quarterback, right?
Yeah, he's the quarterback. Yeah, so he switched teams too. So he went from the Patriots to the Bucks, Tampa Bay. So he's like, it's insane, dude, to do that, you know, and then to get Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl. And then he brought in like a bunch of players too, like Rob Gronkowski, who played, and he intercepted 2 touchdown passes. And Antonio Brown, he was one of Tom Brady's picks to bring into the team. Insane! What a crazy story, man! What an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
I'm not
never,
a huge NFL fan, but I do enjoy it. I do enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I don't understand the game enough to watch it that much.
No.
I'd have to have someone talk me through it, you know.
Well, I've been watching it years, man, and I still don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Most of the time. it's one of them. You're just like, what was that called? What's that about? How's that work?
Yeah.
I still don't understand it, but I find it really relaxing.
Yeah, too right.
I grew some facial hair after our last conversation, so this is a week's growth.
Mate, it's looking good.
It's bad close up.
Ah, it's good.
Nah, it's bad, dude. Doesn't look too bad on a webcam, but it's bad.
Is it really? What's
it's
bad about it
homeless
then?
looking.
What's bad?
Patchy, real patchy.
Come on, dude. You're
Very
saying it's
wispy.
homeless looking. Look at the state of me.
Mate, I'm wispy.
Wispy's not good, is it? Wispy's never... Yeah, wispy's not a good look.
Wispy's bad. Wispy's like 17 at school when you're like trying to grow a bit of facial hair.
Did you used to shave at school? I remember loads of people used to shave like it was like that's how you get facial hair is by shaving. So I've never did that when I was younger. So no wonder it's patchy. Like if you just shave relentlessly, I think you get like, I think it grows back.
Yeah, people do that. Yeah, like if you like shave your eyebrows or something, they come back like twice as bushy. Everyone always says that, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking hope that never happens to me then. Jeez, imagine.
I know. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm going to keep it for a bit longer and see what happens. But I'm already really irritated. I just play all the time with it and twiddle and.
Yeah, it is annoying.
It's horrible.
I'm so used to it. I've never shaved
face.
properly. I've never even been clean shaven. I just used like a hair thingy, and I cut my hair the other day as well. Just whizzed it off. But then I normally wear a hat because it's so freezing cold anyway. So it is cold now, isn't it,
today.
dude? It is cold.
Yeah, it's cold. Have you got the boiler sorted at home? I think
No,
that's
man.
what everyone wants to know. Oh, dude, you're
It is
really
freezing.
trying to cut corners down there, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Really
yeah,
trying.
it is absolutely freezing. But what can you do? What can you do?
So
I'm waiting on
why isn't it fixed? What's going on?
Well, I'm
Come on.
waiting on a mate, and it's all just favours, and you just can't be bothered to hassle people. So it's not the end of the world. You just have to put on an extra layer of clothes, and then it sort of seems it regulates.
Yeah. I guess.
The water still works. So
Hot water.
yeah, I can still have a bath or whatever. It's just the heating. Yeah,
Okay. So you sit in the bath at night.
I do though. I do.
Wow.
I do.
Your bath? I like a bath, mate.
Yeah, I do. I just can't
like a
stand up. I worry about slipping over at the minute with my creepy, vulnerable, weak ankle. So
Yeah.
I'm well into bath.
But the boot's off though, isn't it? The Tech 11.
Yes,
Gone.
dude. The Tech 11 is gone, and I'm walking on it, and I've even done now walks without any sticks, which is it's like mega painful, and well, not mega painful. It's just it feels so vulnerable, and then I get back. Do you know the weirdest thing is I've got an ankle injury, but it's like my forefoot and my heel that hurt the most because I'm obviously not bending anything right at the moment, or not. I don't have any muscles in the right places. It's super weird.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely though, and what's more is I've got on the turbo trainer, which is mega exciting. Sick. The whole thing's pretty weird, dude.
Do you have the thing like rigged up to the Ziff stuff or anything like that? Do you do any of that?
My girlfriend does, but I haven't worked out. I don't really know what I'm doing yet with it. So I know
you don't want to make everything like a video, but I feel like a sort of like a ride along with you would be really fun.
A Zwift one.
Yeah.
How many people do you reckon use it, like in mountain biking?
A lot, I reckon.
Really? Yeah.
I reckon a lot. I think a lot, especially at the moment.
Yeah,
with lockdown
true.
And stuff like that, and the cold, especially in the UK. I think a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah.
I feel like a YouTube live sort of thing, like meet up, would be fun.
Yeah, it probably would, wouldn't it? Have you ever been on it before?
Never, dude.
It's fucking weird. You just ride around. I don't like it when you get to the corners. I always try and catch, because the character on my one is a girl. I always try and catch her out. So just before a turn, I'll just put a bit of a effort in, and then the way she turns is so horrible. It's just you know. Like,
yeah, I've just never got into it. It's just one of those things that's just always escaped me. Like I've just never never done it. I've never been down that rabbit hole. But I mean, if you're going to be addicted to gaming, at least do something where you got to pedal the damn thing.
Yeah. It's weird. It's so weird that it's brought me such joy going on the turbo. You know, and like there's not even wind through your hair. There's nothing. You literally just sat there pedaling. And I did half an hour with very little resistance, probably, I don't know, 120 watts or something. Something like really, really next to nothing. and I was dripping with sweat. Like, I'm mega. It's mad how unfit I am at the minute.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. And you think you're going to get that? Like, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but do you think you're going to get it back quite fast? Like,
yeah,
having because you've got a good base level of fitness from all the riding and the over the years.
I guess I don't really understand fitness. I don't understand if it has like a memory. But I mean, regardless, you have a memory, so naturally you do what you used to be able to do, and then you're fit from it. I think
that actually might be a lot of it, that you know in your head you can do it. So you're like, well, I used to run or ride 10 miles, so I'll just ride 10 miles.
100%. 100%. I think you're right. Yeah, I think the same goes in the gym. You sort of start lifting a weight that's a little bit less than what you used to lift, but it's still more than what you first lifted or whatever. But I think it will come back really quickly. I hope it will. I don't want to be at the back of the pack, dude.
It's bad out there at the moment, man. I went riding yesterday. It was the worst thing I've ever done. It was so shit.
And you were going to go for a swim, eh?
Yeah, I was.
And you didn't?
I'm glad I didn't.
No.
Nah, I didn't. I bailed.
Do you like cold? Like as in water submersion and doing cold things.
Yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I do like it. I think, but you have to be in the right mind frame for it.
Yeah,
big time. And you also have to not think that you're gonna, something happen to you bad. If that makes sense. Like that was, if I'd have gone in the water yesterday, that was like going a bit from this will be fun and like, it's good for your body to get the blood going, all that sort of stuff. That was a bit like going into the stupid realm, I felt. Because I'd ridden out there, it's 11 miles to get to that spot from my house.
Yeah.
I was already freezing cold. And that's one thing, if you're going to go in the cold water out there, people, be warm first. Like, your core body temperature's got to be pretty good. But I was already freezing. My feet were cold, and I was like, this is just going to suck.
Yeah.
And could end up just getting in a bit of a mess. And then not being able to warm up after.
Yeah, true, eh?
Yeah. So, and I knew that if I went in, I'd have to ride 11 miles home. That's that's the quickest way as well.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm good with it or not. I go in the sea and stuff. I've been in the sea when it's been super cold, and I've done like ice baths and stuff. I think I'm all right at it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. I do make effort every day to go in the cold.
Oh yeah, because you've got your pool thing, haven't you? You've got your bin that you go in.
Yeah, I did. It's gone now. It's now full of chicken shit. But before, it was just a cold plunge. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's good for you. I think I suffer a little bit with anxiety and stuff like that. And for me, it's the one thing which makes all that stuff turn off, because you can't think about anything else other than how cold you are and breathing. So I think it's really important for stuff like that.
I'd never even thought of that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really meditative. If you can like just literally focus on your breath and breathing and like not feeling pain.
Yeah, that's why I like sauna, to be honest. I like sauna for that reason, exactly that.
Yeah, I like a sauna. I do like a sauna.
Do you know what I do in the sauna? I imagine I'm slowing down my heart rate. So I genuinely think like, right, concentrate as much as you can on like breathing slow, and then like imagine just one day you just voluntarily took control and you could slow it down, or like.
Yeah, but like the monks and stuff can do that stuff, can't they? They can actually slow down the heart rate.
Crazy thought, isn't it?
Do you meditate at all? Uh-oh.
I guessed it! I forgot we were doing a podcast.
We got two.
Whoa!
Hey, Joey.
All right, Joe, I gotta go.
Wow.
I gotta go.
We're deep in the internet right now, aren't we?
Dude, can we just do a clap really quick, all three of us, just so I can sync this up? Is that okay?
Yeah. And then Sven, you're like,
oh. All right. Can you just shout at the same time after three?
So I'm like the fourth person with your new software, so you know what to do now to get your audio dialed.
Dude, so true.
All right.
Right, we'll just do a clap, or Sven just shout something so I can sync it.
Yeah, when?
1, 2, 3.
It can't work, surely, like that. That's too shit.
That was all 1, 2. That was completely all out of sync.
Just forget it. I'll figure it out somehow. It doesn't matter.
Sven Martin, our guest this week.
Wow.
What a guest, dude.
Is this week 23?
What a guest.
It's week 23.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Week 23.
Shit, I got the M.
Man, I know.
Well thanks.
It's a special week.
Guys.
We had a bit of a break. in the middle.
You mean
what did we have off, Ollie? Like
you
a
mean
good
6 months when that break?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it
What did we
6
come back on?
months?
Well, you guys.
Did we have a 6-month lockdown break?
Yeah, then you guys went YOLO, and then you went back into lockdown where we didn't.
Oh, I knew something like that was coming. It was only going to be a matter of minutes before.
Seconds.
It's literally seconds.
Yeah, I don't. Mate, that's so confusing. I can't even remember now. So we started doing these again, Ollie, on episode 18.
Yeah.
So we did 17 weeks the first time.
Sure,
That's insane, isn't it?
That's 4 months, eh?
Do you know what, dude? You should be smug because it looks like where you're living right now is the dream place. It doesn't look like it gets much better than New Zealand, does it? Really?
No. I mean, no, not right now. And actually, that's the reason we moved here, because we were living in the snow in Bend, Oregon, where everyone's moved since we left, and that was the only quiet time of the year. So we didn't want to be stuck in the snow, so we wanted to go back to the sun, and couldn't afford California. Didn't want to go back to South Africa. Too many snakes and sharks and in Australia. So here we are, New Zealand.
Wow.
Sounds like the one, dude.
Simple as that.
It does look like the one, to be fair, at the moment, out of all the countries in the world that is back to some form of normality.
It was.
I mean, it's pretty much New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because we did the Europe for 3 months and South Africa for 2 months, and then did managed isolation, quarantine, and then you get out of that, and you've been so careful and so judgmental, and you always, whenever you see anyone, even if it's your friend, you're like, oh, who's he been mixing with, and have those guys been in Morzine, and are they part of the super spreading event in Roger's bar, and then which is like anyone that was in Morzine before the World Cup's pretty much for sure, if they have an antibody test, they for sure had corona. But then you get here,
I heard this,
and immediately everyone's just like hugging, and then we went out to Queenstown from a Gaza Fest, and then there's mosh pits and crowds and just bros and drinking, and that was kind of bizarre, and it sucks because that feels weird to you, but that is actually how life's meant to be, and can
Yeah,
still
but
be.
it's kind of cool to see that New Zealand's almost in the future for us in a way. If we're gonna, because New Zealand was also in lockdown, right? There were strict.
Yeah, well, we see the difference between. Okay, we have a lot of advantages, obviously. I mean, I don't even know why we're talking about this. This is all historical, but it's easier to contain everything and control everything when you're on an island. But then the last time I checked, the UK is kind of like a similar island, right?
Yeah. It's just run by idiots.
Yeah,
Loud and clear.
But what was well, I mean, you guys are in lockdown, and I just keep seeing YouTube videos with mates in forest. You spoke about that your whole prelude last show, or yesterday, or whenever I listen to your podcast. So I won't get into that or clogging up hospitals with ankle surgeries and all that stuff. But
listen, Sven. There was the question was, did you have lockdown in New Zealand? You did, right?
Yeah, but the difference is everyone fucking locked down like you meant to. And now there's no coronavirus. No. The interesting thing is, and Anka pointed this out to me, because she knows, she's smarter than me. So, from that first wave of the pandemic, the top 5 performing countries all had female presidents or prime ministers. So then the first thought is, okay, well, they obviously do a better job at running things, which generally they do. If you've dealt with anyone in the mountain bike industry, if your point of contact is a lady, you're stoked, because they're the only one that'll answer emails, the only one that'll correspond, the only one that will cut checks. None of the dudes in the mountain bike industry are doing a proper job, really, which is fine. But you know. But then, so all these countries, Germany, New Zealand, okay, not all of them are doing well now, but in that first wave. So it's not that a female leader is necessarily better, which in these cases obviously they are, that's why they elected, but it's the country, the population of a country that would elect, that's open-minded enough and that would elect a female leader and vote a female leader in. So you're dealing with a certain mindset, a certain, you know, it's not new age, but it's that type of person and country.
It's like it's a culture.
Yeah,
thing,
it's that culture.
almost.
So if you're willing to do that and or there's no discrimination, then you're also going to be respectful for fellow people. You're going to buckle down and do things when you should and do it properly. And you know, of course, like I said,
I also thought that the ones that actually the countries that performed well got rid of it quick. I thought that they were countries that largely they didn't have big populations that wouldn't do what they're told. Because I would say in England we're part of, everyone complains about everything. We don't do what we're told. We feel very self-important. Oh, you say I can't go outside. I must go outside. I need to go outside. I can't see my friends. I must see my friends. And then the countries that aren't like that just nail it instantly when there's maybe a little bit of fear chucked in there, sprinkled in there.
Yeah, it's just.
But I didn't realise it was like the forward-thinking countries.
Well, I mean, it's just respect for fellow people, and that's really what it comes down to, and that's like what that's what the whole mask thing. It's not just protect yourself; it's to protect others, and which is always. You remember, like we always used to see, say, Asian people on planes before the virus with masks or in airports, and you would think that was kind of weird, but it wasn't. They weren't just protecting themselves; they were also protecting others in case they were sick. So it's like a culture thing, and probably something we'll get used to a bit more in the future.
I think, like you said as well, Ollie, I feel like where we live here in the UK, everyone's always going to try and push the limits a little bit. Everyone's like, yeah, but I can just do this and no one will know. And you have certain countries where there may be... The word proud is often, I think... The word proud could almost sometimes be seen as like, maybe not... I don't mean racist, that's not what I mean at all, but like a bit laddie, like, oh, I'm proud to be English, like, with your Union Jack shorts on and all that sort of shit. But certain countries, like, I always use Sweden as an example, they're like all in it together. Like, they're proud to be Swedish, because I love Sweden, I've been there many times, whatever. I absolutely love that country. But the people, it's like and it's an actual community feel, where I feel like here it's very much like all for one.
But
all for one.
Sweden didn't lock down, did it?
Yeah,
Sweden didn't lock down, no.
Yeah, they didn't really care much for their old folk. That's the problem with Sweden. But anyway, we're getting. I'm sure 23 weeks of talking about that. You guys are.
Do you know we try and go light on it, but it's hard to not talk about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And particularly you living in what seems to be the best spot in the world right now. It is interesting hearing that people are back amongst it, and I can imagine it's weird. I can't imagine being in a mosh pit right now. I mean, I'm not a big fan of mosh pits in the best of times. When we're not in a pandemic, I'm not a big fan, but.
So where you are right now then, Sven, you can do anything. Shops are open.
Yeah, there's no
clubs, bars, or
100%. There's no if you get on public transport, there's zero at present. There's zero outbreaks or cases in the community. So everything's. Where in the UK or other countries, when you travel, you're asked to isolate at home. Right way back in the beginning, immediately our borders were closed, but if we had Kiwis returning to the country, the initial way was to ask them to isolate at home, just like every country kind of does. But how many, if basically that's just asking to trust people, right? And you can maybe trust 98% of the people, but if 2% of the people do go out in the community and they do have COVID, then it's kind of it's pointless. So they made the decision early, like it's a bit totalitarian, but we're like not going to trust you guys. Let me just turn that off. And they put everyone in government-controlled isolation hotels. So they were just strict from the beginning, and that's keeping it out. But then at the same time, how long can you shut your borders for? Because there's tons of people that don't get to see family, and you have to apply for exemptions if you want to leave the country, if it's not a valid reason, or if you have family that isn't a citizen that wants to come visit, or you want to. So it's, you can't live like that forever either, and you've effectively wiped out international tourism. But they did the maths, obviously, and they were like, okay, we have We have all our main industry. You know, we have farming, we have wine. So, well, fruit farming, wine, forestry, fisheries, and then, you know, regular industry. That accounts for like 95% of the industry. Tourism, I think, goes 20%, but only 5% of it is international tourism. So they're like, okay, we're going to lose 5% of our GDP, but we've got 95% that can run 100%. So it was a no-brainer. And then, I mean, before all of that, they wanted to protect their citizens. So, you know, I think we had...
You know, you got 5 million people.
Yeah, so we had 20 deaths out of 5 million people. So how many million people live in the UK?
67 million.
And how many
is it really?
How many deaths?
Dude, a lot more, you know. But then that's the nature of a virus, isn't it? If you've got loads of people packed together, it's going to be a steeper curve. It doesn't even matter if they're all following precautions. Just that people are packed together, aren't they? You look at cities and stuff, and then you look at the rolling countryside in New Zealand. Totally. I don't know. It's gnarly, isn't it? It's crazy to think how different it is in every spot. Then
we returned to New Zealand, and everyone was like, "How was it out there?" And they were like, you know, first because there was the whole South African variant came out, you know, and then as soon as we came back, that was all in the news. But we had, you know, we didn't. We had our isolation and tested negative a couple of times. But then you could hear when anyone was like, "Oh, we just got back from South Africa," everyone would be like, and then you were immediately like, "Is there a chance this guy has the South African variant?"
Yeah.
But the one thing, the Kiwis were like, they're so insulated and to some degree cut off, and they don't really know what it's like. You know, they are. They couldn't believe that we went overseas, that we had risked going overseas. But then, you know, we're in mountain biking where we weren't doing events in packed cities. We were in smaller towns in the summer, outside all the time. So what was good to see is that if done responsibly, under a lot of protocol, you could run downhill World Cups, or you could run World Cups, and you could run EWS, and you know it was shitty working conditions, like we couldn't go in the pits and couldn't mix with athletes, which was fine, but it allowed life and sport, you know, to go on. It is good to see you, because we're going to be living amongst it for a long time, and you know, with mutations and vaccine rollouts and efficacy rates not being 100%, there's going to be so I mean, for a good couple of years we're going to be wearing masks a lot longer than you want to, and you know, there's going to be all these restrictions, but it is good to see life can carry on, not quite like normal. You know, when we were in South Africa, there's tons of COVID around. You know, we were there for 2 months, but we did go eat out, but we only ever ate out if the restaurant had outdoor seating. You were allowed to eat indoors, but we just chose not to because it just was sketchy. But then South Africa's bizarre. They did like the opposite. They made, you could go to gyms, massages, get your hair cut, indoor gyms, but you know, so you're in an enclosed space, or someone's cutting your hair or massaging you in a closed place for more than 30 minutes, but you couldn't go to a beach. You couldn't surf, you couldn't walk, you couldn't swim.
It's so weird, eh? Yeah. It seemed the right way around.
Yeah. And then they flat out banned.
I think that's where certain people as well have really taken like offense with this as well, is that like the closing down stuff that you should be doing to stay active, to stay mentally and physically fit.
Yeah.
It's like same here right now. We've got all the gyms are closed, and then the police in outdoor areas, and it's like that is obviously you don't want droves of people, but really you should be telling people like, okay, go and have a walk, just go for a walk and like sort your head out, not stay in your house.
Yeah, no, it's when the rules are not thought out or seem illogical, then there's no incentive. Like, you don't feel bad if you're breaking a rule which you think is completely dumb, and if you're thinking that, you know, hundreds or thousands of other people are thinking that, and then they become pointless because then it becomes not lawlessness, but then, you know, and that's why all the second waves and third waves hit, because people got fed up of under restrictions, and then things seem good, and then everyone slowly, you know, and that was just predictable, you know. And we
it's really hard for them to ease restrictions, I think, because any move in a positive direction is going to be met by like amplified, uptake. So as soon as a pub's open, so many people are going to want to go to the pub that wouldn't normally. It's like it's going to be ramped up, isn't it? It's just so hard to manage.
I mean, here, and you had it down in Surrey, didn't you? Like, as soon as they opened outdoor spaces, everyone's out, and it's like, here in the Peak Fukin district, there was shit tons of people out. It was just, people that don't normally go out were out, and it's just crazy. And like you say, as soon as there is that little bit of a glimmer of hope, and that's, I guess at the moment we're probably playing that fine balance of starting to open things up, and then people just rushing to be out of the house and visit friends. So,
but I mean, people's got to be.
Must have been mega weird for you, Sven.
What's mega weird? What's
after so
mega
many
weird?
Years on the road to
That
be
I've
then
never-
not.
Yeah.
Go on.
Oh yeah. No, sorry. You carry on. Let's hear the question. Sorry, I'm notoriously bad for this.
I think we got a delay, but it must be mega weird for you for so many years on the road to have had a change. And has it been 100% positive? Because it must have, I think so many people have said it's been really nice to be at home and explore things that are on your doorstep or live more of like a home life. But they live at home already, whereas you live on the road essentially, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if we could have a pandemic where no people died and no people lost their jobs every 10 years, every 5 years, I'd be quite happy to take a bit of a break. It used to be pretty like a good balance between life and work, especially in the summer, because it was just really World Cups, a mega avalanche, a few crankworks. But then once the EWS got added to that, that's already another 8 weeks gone, or a few more if you add the travel. So it's, for like 7 months, it's almost it's almost every weekend. The last time I saw you, that was Brendan's wedding, and that was literally in a 27-week. That was like the only weekend off in like 27 weeks, and that was just for a wedding, And then I went to Will Ockleton's wedding, and that same. So and then I actually had to miss jobs. Brendan's wedding was funny because I was in Canada shooting the EWS, and I didn't tell a soul except Boris. I'm like, dude, I'm not even going to bother telling the clients because it's just too much effort. Boris, he has the Dropbox logins, and I shot all the practice, and I got to do media rec, because the only reason we do ELBS is for the media rec, because that's like the best riding day of every year. And then the race itself is still cool because you're on bikes, you're not walking like a World Cup. And then I just shot practice, media recce practice, and then I just drove to Verona, got on a plane, and then no one even knew I was gone. They're like, "Oh, thanks, Sven," and no one even knew. They're just because you're like with race runs, you're not really seeing who's on the side of the course, and then afterwards, I didn't get an interview for Vital, and no one even knew. So it's good practice to get Boris. I'll just not show up to a few more events, and as long as no one notices that.
I bet a lot of the other photographers knew, because they weren't getting shit from you for the whole time being in shot and stuff.
It's so weird. I was maybe a bit more like that. I would say I definitely haven't been like that since 3 years ago. And it's partly because I just become a nicer, calmer person. Uncle said you can't carry on like this. You're just stressing yourself out, whether it's work or shouting at people. So I'm reasonable.
Shouting at people.
So
you know what it is? I tell you what it is.
I'll shout. You know what? If I know you, if you're my friend, I shout louder. I give you more shit if I know you. I give you a lot of shit on comments or DMs, Ollie. But it's because I feel like I know you, even though I don't really know you. You're like the only guy in mountain biking I've probably never shot with. I've accidentally got.
We've shot. No, we've shot together, haven't we?
Where? When you did the body drag in Fort William, begging to be on Vital.
Body drag. Such disrespect, getting the trick name wrong.
Drag.
Such disrespect. No, we shot We shot in Scotland at a pump track for a Velo Solutions thing.
Oh yeah,
and we've shot somewhere else as well.
Oh, you were on
But
there.
yeah, you're right. We barely. You're right. Yeah. No, what I was going to say was, I think the shouting has gone down because it's moved to the internet. And like Batman himself, you're at the races, you're Bruce Wayne, and then on the internet, that's when you're MTV Batman.
Like an alter ego.
I don't really call people out publicly, but we definitely have a few WhatsApp groups where we'll screen grab things and we will like just discuss like what are these people thinking, you know?
I tell you what, dude, I think it's fantastic. I think everyone should do more calling out. I reckon we spend too much time saying everything is good, everyone's steezy, everything's a good idea. I like the calling out, and I like that you're a character that calls people out.
Yeah, but I mean,
Ollie, who would you call out first?
Oh, I don't call people out. I'm fucking nice.
But what's brought it on? Like, okay, I came from skateboarding background, and there's certain ethics or rules. Not even rules. It's like you just don't do certain things because you'll get called out or you'll get blacklisted. You don't go to, like from a skater's point of view, you don't go to the same handrail and do like a worse trick or otherwise you respect that. Like you just got to put out good quality stuff or you. It's hard to say because
Dude,
Instagram people are just trying to feed the Instagram, but it's like, how about still adhering to a bit of quality? Like you're a professional fucking mountain biker, you're doing a foot plant, but you didn't even like go back and do it again because you didn't realize your foot was 2 feet below the fucking lip. And like there's people like Brendan and Iago, they should fucking know better than to put shit on the internet because the kids are like,
dude, too right.
Well, Brendan couldn't do it because his lockdown, he packed such a bad lip that if he put his foot anywhere near the lip, it would have like gone through the whole thing. So he had to do it on the on the face. But I mean, come on, more,
dude, more. We've got you going now.
Yeah,
come
more.
on.
If you paid to ride your bike, like have some self-respect and like control your image, or you know, like you can be loose like 50-1 in the Vanzacks and stuff, but at least the riding's still good. They're not putting shit clips up there, or they're not having to speed up their footage because they're riding too slow. So, just and that's because and it's the whole like back in the day when internet started and was websites and pre-Instagram. You would save your good photos for the magazines, and then you would give your sort of B photos for the web reports, or save the good photos for companies, but And back then you used to charge more for print versus social media or not versus websites. But social media has essentially become, companies' new branding and advertising. So there's no longer a distinction. Everyone's like, oh, how much if we're just using it on social media? It's like, well, let's see. You used to spend $1,000 for a photo and it would be seen by 15,000, however many, a magazine would have 20,000 people. Now you've got a rider like Manar or Loic or somebody. They've got a company that has like 1 million followers. They themselves have 200,000 followers. So one picture gets seen, potentially by, hundreds and thousands of times more than a magazine. And yet you're saying
I'm completely with you. I think it's a real shame, a real shame that we don't have print anymore. From Thrasher to Dirt, for all of it. Because it used to just be better. Everything used to be better.
Well, no, it's not. No, I wouldn't say that because then you sound too.
Every picture used to be better that you see. If you think about the number of pictures that you see now,
I think what it is, we've become desensitized to good stuff because you see more good stuff than ever, but you're exposed to so much good stuff. You're exposed to so much good stuff that you don't even like. You used to just scroll. You used to like and scroll. Now you don't even fucking waste your time with a like. You just scroll. And now you don't even scroll. You just let the stories play themselves. You don't do anything. So it's the dumbing down of the consumer.
The image used to be that big, though, didn't it?
Well, the images, you know what it is? You know what it is? You remember them more. We just, I just did that 14 years, 14 days, 14 years and 14 days.
Which is amazing, by the way. Amazing work.
So I can remember photos that I took 10 years ago better than photos I took last year. And it's not because they were better, it's because you went through, you know, to get it in print, you were really one of like 10 photos that made the dirt photo.
Yeah.
You know, me and Sebastian Scheck and Victor Lucas were like, we'd always battle to see who would get the shot in dirt, and it would, and there'd only be one. So you remember that one, or you remember that one photo of Malcolm Fearon with Palmer at the World Champs where he's on the Manitou Fork in the red Stars and Stripes jersey, and you can see the rotor, like you can see the light between the brake pads of the rotor. So he's shot it so like straight on manual focusing at 300, not motor drive, like and so you remember like certain photos, but then sometimes at an event you'll get like 3 of those photos that don't even make the slideshow and don't even make your Instagram, don't even make Instagram stories. So it's not that the photos are better, because there's a lot of stuff, but the moments and the memories are clearer. So now it's just a big fog and a haze. So you know,
it must be frustrating for you then, Sven, when you know that there's people out there. You've put all this effort into a photo, just say, you know, whatever photo, but you've flown to the venue, you've probably walked up and down a hill 100 times, you piss wet through, and the thought that someone's just going to go
well,
is to me like really annoying, because you want someone to go back to the old days and sit on the toilet reading dirt and be like, fuck, that's so cool. Like, I mean, it's
just technology, and with everything you've got to embrace it. Like, I'm one of the older guys, but I feel like I'm young at heart. You know, I don't want to be, because I started when I still had to shoot film. You had to shoot, so the flip side of it is like what you're saying. You would take a photo and it'd slide. You don't even know how it came out. You get the photos back on Tuesday, mail them to the magazine or the company. This was before drum scanners, so you couldn't even just email a copy. You were like mailing to these companies. They'd sit on it for 2 or 3 weeks. They'd either run it or you'd get it mailed back if you were lucky. Like my best skateboarding and some of my best mountain biking photos from pre-2003, I don't have all of them back. Like I've got, so you really only had potential to make money once, maybe twice, maybe an ad and somewhere in editorial, but that image was gone for 6 weeks, which was sweet because you took the photo, you went out all night and you partied all night. You partied with Warner and PD and all of them. Well, I was racing, so like I just would shoot and just carry on racing. But so the flip side of that, you know, we complain about the internet, we complain about digital, but no, that's all opportunities. More people can be exposed to the images. Not that you have a potential to get more clients or make more money, or you can use it everywhere, but you got to use the technology and go with it. I mean, oh Jesus, you're the fucking best at it. You got so many different things going because you know where the next movement and trend is, and the same thing with photography. You know, just embrace it. What does become frustrating is not so much how people consume it, is that you take a picture, you deliver it to a client, and part of that client is essentially can be the rider. You know, you're working for a team or a brand that has a team. But part of that is the riders also get the shot if that's the agreement with the team. You know, if you're working for a team, obviously the riders are part of the client. So you get the shot, say, fuck, it's so hard not to mention names, but you send the shot. It seems like the better the rider, the better results. As soon as you, Uncle's going for a ride. Be careful. What are you doing? Jurassic. Okay. It's a sketchy trail. So it seems like the better, okay, have you guys found this? The better the rider is, like results-wise, and this is mostly like racing-wise, like, I'd say it goes across for EWS, downhill, and enduro. The freeride guys are a bit better. But if you think about the top EWS races, the top downhillers, and the top cross-country races, except Nino's pretty dull, but they just useless at social media, right? Like Loic was really good in the lockdown, and he's young and hip and has got the interaction, but the other guys are terrible. So you get them in Dropbox, but they don't know how to use Dropbox, or because these riders are so like looked after, they won't even spend the 30 quid to have a Dropbox Pro account, you know, because everything gets paid for you when you're a professional rider. So you have to pay for something yourself. Fuck, we're not doing it. So they have the Dropbox app. They don't know how to save it to their phone. They save the low res. So if you accidentally take a picture of your screen or WhatsApp them this cool picture that you're going to send them in 5 minutes, or that's on their Dropbox, they're so fucking lazy. They'll like don't know how to download that image. They'll screen grab it. So that's like 3 versions of decaying an image. And then they'll post it on the Instagram let Instagram do the square crop without them knowing it. Don't even censor it or move it or shoot it like post like it's intended. Or even worse, they'll wait for someone to put it on stories, and then instead of like reposting it, they fucking screen it. Just becomes this horrible image that you don't even recognize anymore. So
yeah,
that's
dude,
more,
100%.
That's more frustrating.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that.
So like Boris
and with a magazine editor, they would do all of that for you, wouldn't they? Yeah. And you wouldn't ever have to worry about me cropping all of the. Also, it's so portrait. Like a phone is portrait, isn't it? So I kind of think that like half of my favourite photos when I was younger were like landscapes in dirt. They're double-page spreads. Yeah. But,
yeah, but I mean, like going back to the phones, and you got to embrace technology. One of the first Huffield World Cups, like 2014, I don't know, was like an iPhone 6. So Needles and Brendan and I went to shoot that jump track off the side of the World Cup track, and like it was like sick light clouds, and then we're like, we're just riding, so I just took a picture just to like, we're going to come recreate this photo, and it was of Andrew. I didn't get as good a one of Brendan. And then I went back like after the race on the Monday, and I went to reshoot that photo, and something about, I just couldn't get it as good as the iPhone. And then Mike Rose had seen the iPhone picture on Instagram, and then he's like, all right. I said, no, dude, don't worry. I've got a real photo of it. Don't worry about it. And he's like, nah, just send the iPhone picture. And that was like iPhone 6. So it was probably like not even, I don't even know what it was. But he ran that as the last photo in dirt, and it was just a little bit creatively.
Wow.
And so no, I'm not going to like complain about how things are, or that any little kid with no, learning of photography of the craft can take photos and give them away for free for tires, and use preset filters. That's just part of life now, and you got to embrace it, or just work differently, work smarter. And it doesn't really matter, because you work on relationships. So it's at some point, obviously you've got to take good photos, but it's more about the relationships with the riders, the companies, and your friends that you have. And that's why I'll need to go back. I think that's why I started, right? Is like, I don't shout at people as much anymore, because I found like when you would shout at someone up track, at first it would take them like, they were like, maybe would have moved anyway, but now they're like, hey, is he talking to me? And then it takes 10 seconds, so there's already one rider gone, and then you've got to have a bit of a back and forth, and there's already another rider gone, and then it might escalate to an argument, and then eventually they move, and then you're so pissed off that you missed the real rider you're waiting for anyway. So now I found if you just zen them out, right? If you just like, you're like, okay, he's going to move, please move, and you just like, they'll move anyway, or Boris will shout anyway. So I don't shout until Boris shouts.
I'm only teasing, dude. I just remember the first time I went to a World Cup when I was very young. I was probably hanging out with Clay. Clay gave me probably the walkie-talkie, and I was just like amazed. There's like a whole nother world going on at a World Cup. So you've got a load of guys on walkie-talkie communicating with each other, telling, oh, G's coming down, or Bren's coming down, or whatever. Everyone talks to each other, right? Or in your group anyway, your circle.
Yeah.
The mafia, they all talk to each other. And I remember going up the hill and just hearing Sven just fucking fuming at someone. Get out my shot, bro! The fuck! But I understand now. Like back then,
like
I was just amazed.
I only shout at people I know. Like strangers, I'm definitely, especially now, people are going to say no. Did you see that Reece Wilson's? Did you see Reece Wilson's comment? It was like his world. It was like his world champs post. Or no, maybe it was my post of him. And then like it was like first comment is like, yeah, no, maybe you weren't shouting at me to get out your shot anymore. Like, and there was like 647 likes of his comment on my like post of him winning world champs. I was like, and I'm like, yeah, did I really do it? And he's like, yeah, dude, my first ever World Cup at Fort William, you shouted at me, and then Rory said, don't worry, dude, that's just Sven. Like, forget about it. And I was like,
classic.
And I like it. Probably
so
it probably did happen,
easier?
but that was like back in the day. I don't do that now.
So with these World Cups just gone, like easier for you to shoot as a photographer because there was no spectators there?
No, I way prefer spectators.
Really,
it sucks to have one like lonely fat dude in lycra like ambling into your shot, But if you can have on race day, if you can have like 500 lonely fat dudes, then it's awesome. You've got a crowd. And especially finals, it's everyone's like, why do you keep doing this, or how much longer are you going to keep doing this? Can you keep doing this? Do you still enjoy it? Isn't it all the same? It's like, no, it's not all the same. And I don't race anymore, but waiting till that Sunday race, you get as hooked, you get that same adrenaline rush, and you get that same like feeling. It's like, even if you've got good photos the week leading up to it, the ones that are important to me are the ones that I actually get in race runs, and more so when it's world champs, obviously, when you got the guys in their national jerseys, because then you know that is a race run, or it could have been quali if you're cheating. But so we always have like this little competition amongst our photographers, is like, who got the winning shot of each race, like, okay, Loic won, let's see your race run only shot of Loic. And then, because there's so many decisions, you don't want to go stand in the exact same place you've been. You also don't want to plant yourself. Some guys sit in one shot and shoot all 80 riders in one shot, and because we're shooting editorial as well, we don't do that. And also, if you've got 3 team riders, you don't want to give them the same shot. Sometimes if they seated close to each other, you can't move. But sometimes you're sacrificing really a bang a better shot because you've already got it with somebody else, or you have a feeling that whoever's in the hot seat's going to end up winning, so you want to be at the finish line to get the emotion as the other rider doesn't beat his time. And so there's like a million questions going through your head. So having crowds at races is part of those decision making process. It's like, how are we going to best show the crowd at Fort William? And you wanted to frame the riders, or you want to give that view onto to the viewers. You want to basically telling the story. And if there's a crazy big crowd like at Leger, it's like, fuck, there's such a big crowd. So I went. It was probably like around 30th place guy. I ran across the road and beyond where the pits are, and up the back hill, not as far as Keith Valentine went. Keith does some weird decisions and he has some cool shots, but he went way the fuck up. I think he went to Morzine. But I wanted to get that shot that showed like the mass of the spectators. That's not fair. I'm having coffee. So
too early for a beer, man, for you, let's be honest.
Yeah. And then I got like another shot. Like I say, you want to shoot tight to get that crazy action. Like I got that cover shot of that Hurley Burley book of Armory just like power wheeling out that last turn.
Yeah.
But like that's good because you want that kind of shot. You got tight action with crowd behind. But then other ones, you want the rider tiny and you want the crowd big. So you're making these decisions, and then sometimes you can't necessarily, if that's a client and they want to show the bike a bit, and so you got to be a bit tighter. But then if Loic, Loic, the only photo I need of him is maybe his crank brother pedals or something. So like I can just have crowd shots. So you do different things for different riders, and the crowd, where there is a crowd and not just some random bro, then And the only time I shot,
When you were coming up, so if you were a young photographer, would you say race photography is like a really, really good way to learn super quick because of the pressure, atmosphere, and because of constant flow of riders and stuff? Because it must vary a shitload from when you were shooting like skate stuff, for instance.
Skate stuff, you know what you're going to shoot. You're repeating one move on a shot. So it's almost like a World Cup where you can sit and you'll have 80 riders come by. But the thing with skateboarding, as it got to the later years when I was shooting it, the tricks they're doing are so gnarly, like they're not doing it again. That's why they'd have 2 filmers, one with a depth lens, on the VX 2000 with the Century Optics 0.3, and then you have another long lens guy, and then you have the skate photographer, and very quickly, if you didn't get the guide or capturing, not even just getting the shot, but getting the correct timing of the shot, which was good for skateboarding, coming up with that, because it was all about the timing, and then I was shooting film, so you're shooting everything in camera, the framing, you're not cropping to fit. So because you did not want to blow that, you made sure, and you were very careful from your light, your exposure, your backgrounds, your framing, your timing, so that when you did shoot mountain biking, I'd already learned all those things. So yes, in short, it is easy to learn at a World Cup because you can just you have a constant flow of riders, especially in, you know, if you're shooting beat training as well, where it's not that bad if you miss a shot. But then you can look, and now you can look in the back of your camera, you know. But the main thing is, first you want to have an understanding of your equipment, and, you know, understand exposure and what the different things do with speed and aperture. But yeah, so, you know, but why, you don't have to start at a World Cup either. Like, why, you know, start with your friends in the woods, you know, that's where you start, because you can get them to do stuff. Like, start everything, everybody's, start local, make a zine, shoot for your newspaper, shoot for your local race. Like, that's where you start, you know, and that's because you're also probably, like, you're not going to stick with mountain bike photography if you're not a mountain biker. Like, you're only going to shoot where your passion is, or you're only going to continue to shoot where your passion is. And also, if it's your passion, you don't need to worry about being a job. Everyone's like worried about getting paid. It's like, yeah, but do you enjoy what you're doing? Maybe you need to have a job, and photography is your hobby, your passion. If it is truly a passion, and if mountain biking is truly a passion, those two passions you'll keep doing, and eventually it'll take care of its own. Because if you do a passion long enough, you become proficient at it. You meet people, so you have relationships, and your crew of riders become, you know, when they're 15, when they become 20, they're winning the races, or 17, they're winning juniors, and then they're going to World Cups. And then, like, you know, like, you get all those young kids, Fricks and Estak. Those dudes are bringing a new crew of filmers and photographers, because those boys, and they stick together, and they have loyalty. It's like little skate posses. I can't go back to shooting skateboarding, and I can't go hang with the Baker dudes, you know, or go shoot, like, because you got to live the life, you know, and that's the same reason. I'm friendly with a lot of the guys, and also, you know, you have mutual respect and trust if they're going to do something gnarly, and that's probably how it works with the free ride guys. They're not going to get, you can't just crash someone else's party, you know, like, and same with surf photographers, you know. You can't just show up on the beach. You'll get, like, you can shoot event photography, you can shoot races, because obviously you've got the best guys in the world, but no one's going to take you on a boat trip with them if you're not part of their crew. And the same goes for mountain biking, you know, like, you can't get access to the pits to get the good lifestyle if you don't know the mechanics, and, you know, it's it's a passion, and then you don't have to worry about being a job until you're proficient at it, and then by then you would have seen that you would have been selling stuff along the way, and you would have been getting jobs anyway. So it all, you know, if you put job ahead of learning and passion, then you're not gonna stick with it, you know.
When did you think you could have it as a job? When did it first feel like a job for you?
Well, 2008's the year I was already making money from it in mountain biking from 2003 2008, but not enough because I wasn't doing it full time. But back then, you know, I had a few clients pre-racing, where they weren't retainers to shoot seasons, but I shot a lot for Oakley and GT, and a bit for Santa Cruz and Fox Clothing and Troy Lee. There's like Bell, Giro. There's a lot of things. Living in California and living in Oregon, I would do a bit of stuff, and off-season people would train, like Rennie and Sam Hill and all those guys. So we're around a lot of stuff. And before that, I was shooting skateboarding before I had my green card. I could shoot. You weren't allowed to work. My visa was like stay at home. Uncle had a student and a work visa. She was at fashion school, and I wasn't allowed to work. But skateboarding was like, everything was under the table. You get paid in skateboards, and you go sell the skateboards. So you're never getting money. So I was making money in skateboard photography. Did a bit for Thrasher magazine and a few shoe companies. I shot like Kareem Camp. I shot a lot of cool stuff, you know.
You did some stuff with Sheckler as well, is that right?
It was for World Industries, and he was the rider. Yeah, he was like a tiny kid, and I remember, like, I used to skate with Nigel Houston's dad, and Nigel used to literally skate the mini ramp.
No way.
And when he bent to pump, his dreads would like drag, like it would like look.
I remember when he looked like that.
He must have been like 6 or 7, and he was good then, and then now he's Nigel Houston. Same with Sheckler. Like, he was a little kid, and yeah. So, and that was because I was living in Orange County, and I knew all the guys. Oh, well, maybe I did stuff with Etnies.
When did you get your pro board? And have you got one right there? Because I've seen it at Clay's. Clay's got one of your boards, hasn't he?
It's the same one here.
He has.
Shall I grab it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
please. Oh man, I'm hyped for that. I was trying to find a picture of it online.
I was like, I said
really?
to Anka, should I like put it back?
Yeah, dude.
And she's like,
Right.
don't be a twat. And she's like, fucking hell.
Nah,
Already
I
I
want
put
to
a
see it.
Already I put a Thrasher shirt on to make myself younger and more in tune with the kids, you know? Except now you see teenage girls and they have no idea what Thrasher is. Like it's,
Oh,
it's
it's the
like,
worst.
and now it's a fucking tie-dye Thrasher. It's like something Tiny made or something. Just hold on.
There's a funny video on YouTube. Have you seen it where the guy goes up and asks people about Thrasher?
About what it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
that's
like-
so good. I hate that stuff. That's
Yeah, it's
so
really
horrible,
funny.
isn't it? When
Well,
it just
we got-
becomes something else.
What are you guys saying when I was gone? So like,
I was just saying there's a YouTube video that it's a skate company, I guess, or whatever, that goes up and asks people about Thrasher when they're wearing the hoodie,
Yeah.
and it's like teenage girls, and,
Yeah.
and they're just like, I don't know what it is. Like, what the fuck?
have you seen?
Take it off.
Do you see the do a kickflip thing when Costin or Tony Hawk's in the car and then they shout do a kickflip?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So like to back it up, so when we came out of South Africa, growing up in the 80s and skating in the 80s, and I finished like high school in 91, so I went overseas to skateboard professionally 92. I lived in California, so I was like 18-year-old kid just so like if you were like, that was pre-internet, right? So you only got your news through videos and magazines, and South Africa, like we didn't get hardly any news and magazines. We were cut off, and because of apartheid, there was boycotts and embargoes, rightfully so. So we were like, South Africa was like Russia. We were like 5 years, 10 years behind America. So even though I might have been like the best or one of the best in South Africa, you know, every skateboarder, you have to go to California if you really want to make it. So like, even though I was like the top pro in South Africa and won a bunch of contests and had good sponsors and made a lot of money from skateboarding in South Africa, when I went overseas, I was like good amateur or like really shit pro. Like, and in the US, you could, I guess in the US, to be pro, you had to have a signature deck, right? That was like what, then you were pro. And there were like millions of dudes that were better than, maybe not millions, better than me, and didn't even have a signature deck. So like, if I came to the States, there's pretty much, maybe if I came to the States when I was like 5 years younger, and then I got, you know, I could have got a US pro board. So I was like sponsored amps. So I got boards and got stuff and went to demos. We even did a demo at Ladbroke Grove and the PlayStation Park at Ladbroke Grove. We did demos in the UK and I used to know all the guys at Slam City. And I know two of my friends started Palace. Palace is like big in the UK. It's like Supreme, right?
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So and those boys like two buddies of mine. So they two South Africans that are the main guys at Palace. Anyway, so that's so it's familiar. So that
Wow.
was sold everywhere. It was sold everywhere, but the company was based. It was a South African based company at that point. I had different sponsors all along the way, but it was sold like everywhere internationally. And there was a series of
And how much did you have to do with the design and stuff?
So it was more like, so if you look at the whole theme of this board was all the top, so that's South Africa, bottom of Africa, right? And then that's US. So the whole series, there was like there were three models, and they were all about birds migrating. Because the three top skaters, myself, Greg Finch, and Clint van der Scaife, we all left South Africa to like spread our wings to go. You know, they both went to the UK, and Greg got a pro board, and he's the one that works at Palace now. So that was the theme. So they gave that was the theme. We all, and there's all writing about each of us. And
Dude,
stuff.
that's so dope.
I think it's so
Fuck
sick,
yeah,
isn't
man.
it? I love the idea that like it's like a separate life almost. Does it feel like it was a separate life? Does it feel like it was like
Oh, it does now. 'cause
before and this is now?
It does now because I suck at skateboarding, and like you see Thrasher clips of a dude like the new like skater of the year, and you're like, oh, who's that? And you kind of, you know, like mountain biking, you got to live it every day to really be connected to it.
Yeah.
And skateboarding is, I feel, is not like riding a bike. Like if you get injured and you don't ride for 3 months, you know, after a week you're pretty much where you left off, or after a day or 2 days you're pretty much where you left off ability wise. But skateboarding, if you like get a bit older, put on a bit of weight, don't skate for a year or skate regularly for a year, it's like you just lose it, you know. And the
why is that then? Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't want it, but the problem is, if you maybe it's like that in mountain biking to some extent for some people, because really, like, some people, like when they give up racing, they almost give up riding because they're racers, they're not mountain bikers. You know, I feel like I'll always be a mountain biker, even though if I'm no longer racing. But there's some people that, you know, when they stop racing, they're almost done with riding, and maybe they get back into it later. But with skateboarding, yeah, I should still be cruising the bowl and stuff. But when you used to do like proper cutting edge tricks, it's frustrating when you can't do it. So the worst is when I haven't skated for like 6 months. I'll go to the skate park or go out on the flat, and then the first thing I'm doing is like trying to do a 360 flip. I'm not even like trying to do a kick flip. I'm not even carving. I'm not even like grinding. I'm like, I want to do tricks again, or I want to like go to the skate park. I want to do a backside lip slide on the rail, and then the board snaps because I'm like 100 kg or something. Skateboarding was skinny. I was like, geez, I was a skinny little kid. But so I don't know. So it's partly that, like, you feel like you've regressed too much, that you can't get enjoyment out of it. When the opposite is true, I really should just be content with cruising. But then the other problem is, like, if you want to skateboard properly, because I run the risk of the first thing that's going to break is my hand or something, and then I can't work, which can be problematic if you only have like 5 weeks of work in the pandemic. Yeah, you definitely not want to be broken. So
yeah,
I don't know, but it'll forever, like those things I told you, how it formed and shaped me. Whether skateboarding is like the individuality, like to get a trick, you keep hitting the ground, you keep trying. Like whether it's the same in photography, you there's nothing wrong with keep trying or getting up and doing it again, and it's probably the same more for, to some degree, racing, where you're nailing the perfect line, but maybe more for like
trick-based stuff. Yeah, for sure. Because actually, if I come back to tricks, like I've lost so many over the years, and I come back to them, and it's not just like picking up. You have to be in it, and you have to have like crashed a few of them recently to still feel like you've really got it. And like if you don't keep it up, you do lose it. And I can imagine in skateboarding it's even more refined. It's like smaller movements, and I don't know.
And to do it consistently like they're doing now, you know. But I think that's why I took to racing or downhill so quickly, because I was used to. So that was 2001 that I started mountain biking. So actually, compared to some people, quite late in the game. I was 28 years old, got my first bike. Which
That's crazy, yeah.
I got my, I had I bought a Specialized to race downhill on, and then my first downhill, once you had a downhill bike, you didn't actually have other bikes. You did everything. You went for a cross-country ride on your downhill bike, or you pushed it up stuff. You didn't actually have, because cross-country bikes are so bad, it was pointless riding them or pointless having them. You'd have a jump bike and a downhill bike. You wouldn't, you do your cross-country, and you didn't do cross-country, actually.
No.
Or trail riding, because they were shit. So you trail rode on your downhill bike, and I was coming off doing like 13, 15 stair rails, like Smith's lip slides, where if you hit the ground, you're in, Vans, vulcanized sole, no helmets, jeans, no pads. So to get in on a downhill bike, and then it was the full Dainese, remember those Dainese pressure chutes? They used to stink.
I bet you felt invincible.
Yeah, full face helmet and a Dainese pressure suit. Fuck it, I could go as fast as anybody else on a bicycle, because who cares if you crash or hit something? Because it's nothing. I couldn't turn for shit. I couldn't turn at all. But then, like 2 years later, I entered and raced my first World Cup. And then I quickly was like, since Warner was on the thing, I was like, I wonder if Warner and I like crossed over, and we did, and I definitely beat him at like 2 World Cups.
Have you searched through the archives, the results file?
Yeah, Roots and
Rain will tell you right easy, right?
Does it do that? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got him a couple of...
I had a quick look today.
Yeah, I got him a couple of times. But so that was...
That's how I found out about me beating you, Ollie. Roots and Rain.
There you go. And forever it will haunt me.
But like, So you used to race a little bit, Ollie, right?
Yeah, I used to race loads. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
was well into it.
Do you not feel like? Because I feel like I'm a way better rider now, like way better. But I'm not faster, but I know what I should be doing, and I can do it just at a slower pace because I'm scared. But it's like I wish I had my skills and knowledge and intuition and years of watching guys ride a bike properly. And I was like, I wish I had all these abilities that I have now 10 years ago when I was racing, and I could like use them and go fast and not be afraid.
Yeah, and you know what you get then? You get the current World Cup winning crop, don't you? You get a young man that's that highly skilled and that mental.
He's got everything, yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like right now on the graph that I'm still improving at bike riding. A little bit less now, seeing as I've broken my ankle. But I do still feel like I'm still studying, dude. I'm still learning more. I'm still getting better at stuff. I think that's what it's not as obvious as when I was younger and like I learnt a flip or I learnt a trick but it's I quite like it. I quite like the period I'm in now for bike riding. You probably feel the same. Like you just pick up on the smallest, tiniest things and improve on them. And
yeah, I'm all about making things easier and smarter and more efficient and quicker. And like sometimes I love following these like when I did this, because I went out with a bunch of all the fast kids, and uncle's like, just don't try to follow the kids. And funny enough, when I did this, I was like not following. I didn't even crash. I just ran off the track. But these kids are going like hard as, and I'm just riding a slightly smarter track speed line, and I'm just like kind of laughing to myself because they're putting in so much effort, and I'm not pedaling. I'm pumping behind them, and he's smashing a turn and pedaling out of the turn, and I'm just like holding his wheel, but like not trying to, and these are the fastest
It's funny, isn't it?
19-year-olds in town. Well, one of them is like, a couple of them are still definitely dropping me, but so like, you get a bit of wisdom and then that's why we have,
How much of that do you think is like driven from social media and stuff like that, and kids watching people just constantly slam turns? Because that is like the in thing, isn't it? Like to just cutty and shroud and whatever, but like
bike parks for sure, because bike parks are kind of boring. You've got this homogenized track that's the same everywhere. So like, how are you going to make a bike park fun? It's like, by finding like a gap from another trail onto that and squaring off a berm, so you can film it with your mates. And that's like what Eddie and them do in Queenstown all the time. But like when you're on a proper track, and in Nelson where I live, all the tracks are kind of native-y, and there's a few catch berms here and there, but they're not bike park by any means. So you're actually riding like, I think Brennan hated the riding here because it was like, they couldn't just like jib and pop off everyone. Yeah, I did a shoot with him and Andrew, and like that almost ended our friendship between the three of us because
he likes a house now. Is there any houses to jump over? Like Bren's there, he loves it.
Even jump off a fucking route. And I'm like, dude, even Uncle can do that. He's like, yo, you expect us to look around as a fucking Rudy and stuff? I'm like, yeah, you're fucking professional. Like, what's the problem? Obviously, it's not a kicker, but you can make... And I would have to show them, like, look, I can pop and tweak, and that's all I wanted is a photo. It's not fucking video. And that was for a Scott... Oh, man. I swear, like, I don't know, it was... And they were staying in the house, and then it was like, Uncle, like, we get back from shooting all day, and then Uncle could sense that something gnarly went down, and...
So good. Sven, I wanted to just go back to something you said briefly, because it's super interesting to me that, when you were filming, photographing, like skating and stuff like that, there was no technology like we've got today where you can quickly look at your camera, choose the best shot, maybe even delete stuff. Do you like miss that, like mysticism of what you've shot and then going and getting it printed? And
well, sometimes, yeah, yes and no, but like I have a film camera and I do like passion projects, and I have film, and I'll shoot a couple of rolls now and then. I don't unfortunately have a darkroom at home, so I can't like do my own black and white. So you can do that, but when you're shooting races or event photography, downhill, EWS, you're working so rapidly the whole day that you set up your shot, you've got the exposure, and you've got your framing. You don't actually have enough time, or you shooting, if a rider's hitting a corner, you've already shot 10 frames, you're not going to look through each 10 frames and zoom in and check if it's sharp. So actually you still get that that you'll get that little adrenaline rush at the end of the night where you kind of have a feeling you really got something special and you can't wait. You know, you can check it on the camera, but often there's not enough time in the day too. So you do get that, you know, you've downloaded your shots, you've selected them, and you're starting to process them, and then, you know, that's 3 a.m, and then you're like, oof. And it can just take one shot that can make your whole day, you know. So yeah, you still you get that. You get a little bit desensitized to that, because instead of getting like 2 good bangers from a whole day shooting, you get 200, and then.
Right.
So yeah, you can.
What I'd love to see is like all you guys, all the best photographers, sort of tape up the screen on the phone, on the camera, and just see who gets the best shot in the day.
So we did this at so I kind of oversaw it. We did it. We never actually released it because we all got busy and couldn't carry it on. But Paris Gore and Duncan Philpott both taped their back screens off at, it was like just before one of the Peebles EWSs, and then they shot, it was like a Peebles Bike Fest, so they shot a slalom race, I feel, at Glen Tress. And it was 36 shots and back screen duct taped on. And then they gave me their memory cards, and if they were like 37 shots, I just wouldn't look at the last one. If they accidentally shot 2 shots, so they were shooting. And obviously they challenge themselves. They don't want to just get stock standard safe ones. It's like they're doing speed blurs, they're shooting into the sun. And I actually, when I did this 14 years and 14 days thing, I found that folder like of images that was like probably like 2010 or something. And so actually, thanks for bringing that up, because we need to go through that, and then we can judge it and have a winner. So 10 years later. But yeah, for sure,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, for sure, a challenge. We always like have talked like, what if we just take one lens and just take 36 photos? But like at the World Cups, we're working, so unfortunately we can't do that. Like Gary Perkin, when I was now shooting the event stuff for Santa Cruz, he was shooting the brand stuff. So he came and did one World Cup where he did that. Took it even further. He did a World Cup in 24 frames just with his iPhone, and we published that on Vital, and he published all 24 sequentially. So like when he fucked up and his phone went off in his pocket, like we put everything so you could see, you know. But then Gary's good, like in those 24 frames, he got like 20 bangers because he's, you know, in a day.
Yeah.
So so those are fun things to do, but when you working and you're trying to deliver like 200-300 images a night, you definitely can't do that, you know. But we have, you know,
another thing I was sort of like really wanted to ask you as well is, again, starting with skateboarding, getting photos published in magazines, through to now with, you know, Instagram and all that sort of stuff, social media, technology. What does it look like 10 years from now? What are we going to be watching? What do you think is going to be happening?
Well, I mean, videos of course has become more important. I wouldn't say more important than photography, but it's become, you know, moving images, you know, like look at skateboarding and surfing clips. Yeah, it's good to see some still images, but if you look at all the top pro skateboarders, top pro surfers, it's about video, right? Which led everyone to start shooting video and photo. And I was like, do I do that? And I was like, you know what? I can't do video. I can shoot video, I can produce video and direct video. Bowman, every video guy hates me when we're on like shoots together, because I will like direct the fuck out of them, because I like also have a vision. But I'd be like the worst editor in the world, because as it is, I can't even decide which shot to edit or necessarily like. So if imagine with a video where you can tell a storyline, you don't stick to timeline, you can do it a million different things, and editing techniques. Like I think like being a good editor has got to be way harder than being a good filmer, you know. So where do I think things are going to be in 10 years' time? At the end of the day, you're still imagery. People are driven by aspirations. And there's always a place for still imagery. It's how people consume it is more like, you know, we've adapted. The product is being consumed on Instagram. So yes, I do shoot often with knowing that some's not even going to be used in the post. It's going to be used in a story format. Sometimes I'm shooting for some clients and I know they want to have a banner on Pink Bike or Vital, so it's going to be shot a different aspect ratio. So it's evolving with the media, and then now also for the clients, I'm shooting stills, I'm delivering stills, but sometimes I'm doing a quick iPhone photo or quick interview to provide that content. I don't want to ever like think of myself as a content provider, but essentially like 80% of the job is probably a content provider, you know. The other 4 months of the year, I get to do creatively satisfying projects, things where I'll take a week to shoot like a photo, you know. You'll work with a writer and a location and a time, and we'll build something, and we'll get up, we'll travel, we'll sleep overnight to get it or whatever. And if you come and you're really just trying to get that one shot, you know, in a week, where in a week at a World Cup, I've shot like 20,000 shots versus, and you're getting 1,000 shots you're going to keep. So, and that's as satisfying as getting one shot. So there's different things, and event stuff definitely, you know, that's why magazines, magazines aren't there to produce, to tell the news anymore, you know. Those are now told, not even on websites, because websites take 12 hours to get the story out, too late. So even on Vital and stuff, we're telling more of the other story, not the results-based story, because I was falling asleep.
No, some of my favourite stuff. Some of my favourite stuff has been the Vital MTB slideshows, and I think it is about. I thought about something I said earlier, and it's kind of dumb about photography being worse, but it's not. It's how we consume it is slightly worse. And I think those Vital MTB slideshows are a really cool way, because I love all your clips and your interviews and stuff. You just feel like you're there, and I think like that's as close as you can get online to a magazine feel for me, maybe. But then, I don't know. I love those bits.
Let me ask you the question though: how many times do you watch those slideshows on Vital, or like the Pink Bike mega story, or whatever clickbait headline they can think of that week? What do you? That was my dig at Pink Bike. None of you picked up on it. Shit.
I got it. I got it. I smiled. Don't worry.
Cheers, Brian Park. How many times are you looking at that full screen on your computer, and how many times are you looking at that on your phone? Like, honestly.
Fair.
That's a good point.
I actually 80% of the time on the phone, maybe. Just
I think it'll change again now, because so many people are, and this is purely an observation from me, but like so many people are working at home, sat behind a laptop all the time, that at the weekend you want to get away from it. So yeah, you might pick your phone up, but I doubt people will be making the effort now to be like, all right, laptop open, go through that. That's just personal. Like, you know, the weekends for me are like, I want to be away from it all.
And that's the thing, when you get in a trap as a photographer, knowing that your image is going to be consumed on a screen, right? So you've got to make an impact on something that size, and if they don't even turn this, if they don't even turn their screen, it's even smaller real estate. So like our favorite shots in the Vital, say, slideshow or editorial or magazines is those wide shots and small rider, especially Enduro World Series stuff, or like the one I was talking at Ligier, like tiny rider, big crowd. You don't even see the rider if you put it on the phone. You know, when you consume it on the phone, you just swipe it. So much of the impact gets lost when it's consumed on the phone. Yeah, and we can complain and like get bummed about that, but also that's also opened the gates. As many magazines have fallen away, you know, what Misspent Summers are doing with their journals and their yearbooks and their coffee table books, what Brennan and them did with the Death Grip book, and what other magazines that are alive, what Freehub are doing, what Cranked are doing, you know, those are now cool spreads, and you know, and sadly, Dirt was one of those magazines. You know, unfortunately, they got in the trap of chasing the now and the news, and you know, once you feed into that game, it's a losing. You actually you're competing with the riders, because they getting the media out, the same photos that you were going to get, they've already used. So, and you can't compete with the immediacy. So like that's what I said. Like, so our coffee table book, so it's the same as, that's why podcasts are popular, because you've got the one scale, you've got a 2-second level of interest, or you know, you got a guy not even swiping, not even liking it, just letting it happen. Now podcasts, long form, people can sit back, they can drive, they can listen to other stuff, and then the same thing with media, printed media. you know, we can, you know, I want to do more shows. I do need to get my print shop running. You can get, you know, so I think there is, and there are, like you said, Ollie, there's people that do, we have diehards that like do sit back and have their coffee or their breakfast, and they let the slideshow play and they listen to the audio and they're seeing it in full screen, and they do get their full experience that way, you know.
Dude, what about YouTube? What about Sven Martin YouTube, and you do literally like a vital slideshow from each round? I would watch that.
Ooh, yeah.
We definitely, like, yeah, it's a no-brainer, the direction and the popularity, and also like, yeah, like on the side of the track this year it was nuts, right? So there's the top riders in the world, and Rob Warner as well. And one of the kids like, oh, that's Rob Warner, and then the other kid, he like, oh, like they literally were talking about mountain biking through YouTube. They're like, oh, I prefer Seth likes bikes, and I was like, literally,
yeah,
kids don't watch TV anymore. They're not on websites. No. They 100% not on websites. Yeah, they're on social media, but they're probably more direct messaging apps, not so much consuming Instagram. They are, like you said, they're on YouTube. But you know, what I saw, what was cool, which we never ended up doing, and we almost did, and you know, no one knew that the pandemic would go on as long as it did, and the lockdowns. If we all knew, oh, we would be doing this for 3-4 months, you know, like a lot of the surf and skate companies, especially with my archive of images, is to, you know, you can have a moderator like these 3 things, but the main screen is the subject that we're talking about, or the clip of the riding clip we're talking about, or the riding photos, and then you have, you know, you can have cool you know, you can use, like, again, it's using technology, and the same thing I could do live YouTube talks, discussing my photos. Like I think I've told you,
yours would be so good. I think I've
told you, like literally, you know, have you guys played like Instagram roulette or like camera roll roulette? So where you got to like just scroll, and then you just stop.
Be careful, dog.
Okay. But you know what I mean? Like you just scroll, and then whatever image you stop upon, you could talk like. I could literally, I've got thousands and thousands of images, but I could probably talk about 5 minutes on every image for some reason.
I thought about doing it with Rue, doing like because like you, he kind of captures the whole story, even to the point where like I think when you're with a good photographer, they are like an extension of my memory. So I'll go back through photos with Rue, and it'll be all these little minor details. It's like more vivid than even my memory is almost of the trip. Yeah. I can feel like I'm there. And then we were talking about whether we could like put together some of our old trips, like a vital slideshow, like your work, and do voiceover for each picture, maybe a bit of music, like the vital slideshow is. I think that's a sick idea. I'd love to watch some of your trips, and
the thing is, I've made such a stance about not shooting video that literally, like, even with iMovie or the GoPro app, like I'm like, I won't say I'm illiterate because I haven't bothered, but I'm like, I literally can't even edit video. I can really, but I always feel someone can do a better job at me, and I'm such a perfectionist that I don't want to do something unless I can like do it properly. And then I've told, like, I said, Joe, let's do it, let's do this, let's do it. And then I think in the end, like you said, I just need to do it myself. But then how much room is there for like people that like dye their beards black like Warner to like be relevant to the YouTube world? Like, do people want to hear from 40-something-year-olds anymore? You know,
100%, man. Like, as a fan of the sport as well, and you know, you getting an athlete and talking through a trip and a shoot, and really going through like all the almost B-roll stuff would be so interesting.
You guys obviously, you guys must like watch or listen to the 9 Club as well at some point, you know?
Yeah, dip into the 9 Club a little bit.
So there's often like, if they've got a photographer, then I definitely like to get on that one, and you know, there's so much behind every shot. Like, everyone always asks me, what is your favorite shot, right? That's like the worst question. Maybe some photographers like, this is the sickest shot in the world, and I won like photo of the year or whatever. But like, I've literally, my favorite shots are actually not really even good photos half the time, because they're moments in time and memories and stories of that trip, of the day, of what happened. And I'm sure the photo, like, and the photo's got to tell that story, but it's also got to remind you, like you said, about the memories. It's an extension of your memory. So like all my favorite shots are like, it's more like the lead up, how to get the shot, what happened afterwards, and the results of the shot, and hopefully the shot itself's good. But the shot's never really like a super strong action or super strong crazy exposure or artistic light, like the the Red Bull photo files, the Red Bull Illume things. Those are amazing stuff. And yeah, for sure, if you're one of those kind of shooters, but it's very it feels like a very formula driven. Like a Deep Summer slideshow. Like, to win a Deep Summer slideshow, you've got to do it a certain way. It's not just about photography. It's like shooting for the contest. Same thing as, you're not going to randomly just pick up one of your favorite shots, and you shoot to a certain thing, and there's guys that do it amazingly. But mine, I guess it's because I'm half my type of photography is I'm more documenting. That's like I'm shooting as a documentarian, a news teller, storyteller, and then also for commercial use, and then to tell editorial. And then you also got to think creatively. So like an editorial shot or an objective shot or a news telling shot, like I'm not allowed to Photoshop out a lift tower or the marshal with a high-vis vest, because like you can't do that. It's like illegal. You'd lose your press card, like, and it bums me out like when you're doing event-based stuff, when people are like just like making the sun disappear and it looks like they on the moon, and it's like, yeah, you can do that if you're doing a photo something, or you're doing for creative use, but like when you're telling, so photography is just, and that's also why I'm still doing it, because it's so diverse, and I don't just go out to take those cool creative like scenic pictures. I'm telling stories, or I'm reporting, or I'm just like basically documenting the sport at that point of history, So, yeah.
Amazing.
Hey, let me grab. I got to grab. Can I grab a power cable? It'll be like 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
I should have probably done that before.
Second. What a guy.
Do you know what, David? We didn't even introduce Sven because he jumped in on us.
I've already thought about it a little bit and how we can. Yeah. We've got to be somewhat time centric here soon.
Yeah,
for
true
an
that.
hour and 50 minutes.
True that.
So I don't want to,
What don't you want you to do? I always feel like I'm missing the best stuff when I step away.
No, not at all.
You got FOMO, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty much. That's why.
FOMO,
That's
podcast FOMO.
That's why I'm always on your DMs. Oh, because I've got FOMO.
It's not right now, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've covered all of my questions, Sven, and I did make questions for you, and you've covered them, and I haven't even had to ask you. That's good, huh?
Almost, yeah. Same as well, to be honest with you. I think just riffing's just amazing.
Yeah. Dude, you should do it for a job.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
you're good at it, man.
The problem with me, there's no short answer, and like it annoys people because they just need the soundbite, or they just need like a caption, and then next thing I've written like 300 words or 2,200 characters, like Instagram.
Dude,
I guess that's the cool thing as well about the podcast stuff, is you can just like let it go, and there's no, we're not hunting for clips or anything like that. We're just going with it.
Hey, I've had an idea. We test out this YouTube idea for Sven. So Sven has some homework after the podcast. He has to pick his favourite photo from 2020, from arguably the worst year in a long time. You have to pick your favourite photo.
No, it's pick
It can
10,
be anything.
I can't pick one. Like I'd have to give you.
You have to pick one, dude, because I don't want to be giving you a lot of homework. You have to pick one, and then
I give you
I need a
100 and you
soundbite
pick
as to why.
What
Then I want a soundbite alongside it to go along with it, and then we're going to put this up and see if this is a. You just got to explain what's in the shot, why it's your favourite, the story behind it. I think that's a cool idea, and whether it's like whether this is a cool idea for a YouTube channel, because I think I'd watch your YouTube channel.
And that's going on your YouTube channel to. Did you ever buy the jet ski?
Yeah, to build our profile. Yeah, no, I haven't. No.
He's hoping this video is gonna get it over the line for the jet ski.
Busted, dude.
Dude, Ollie, you should get Sven set up. I'm sure Sven, you've got YouTube, but set it up. Let's just see what happens.
Did you guys think that? Because that was brilliant. Because I listened to Davey or most of the podcast more often when it's either someone I know closely and I want to know more about them, or the opposite when it's an interesting person I don't know anything about. So, but but the coolest thing about why I kept listening to the companion, obviously no one had anything to do, but it's also you never knew where it was going to go with you two, because for a lot of it you never had any guess, and it was just and it was interesting.
Well, thank you, dude.
Yeah,
honestly,
nice one.
That means a hell of a lot. Honestly, man, especially coming from you, it means a hell of a lot. And Ollie and I speak about this, mostly off air. But, we pretty much came into this. We didn't really know each other that well. And then we were talking about it just before you joined us, actually, Sven, that I think if you work it out, we've been chatting utter rubbish for the most part for 48 hours, which is a hell of a lot of time, to just talk rubbish with someone.
Might as well be married.
So it's crazy. It's really fun. People seem to dig it. And yeah, so the fact that you've said that, man, means a lot, because we literally came up with the idea, didn't we? Just before, as we went into lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and here we are, episode 23.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Here we are, episode 23. Well, Sven, we got to keep these things a little bit time centric. But can you come back on? Are you okay to do another one of these with us?
Is that on week?
I'd love, honestly, man. I'd love to have you back on.
Week 46 of the pandemic.
Yeah. What's your favourite number?
Yeah.
No, hey, just real quick, Davey, because you're talking about YouTube, and I know, all the podcasts I listen to, it's when I'm doing other stuff, so I don't sit and ever watch them, because most podcasts these days are on YouTube, and there's other shit going on and bouncing guests and stuff. Are these just audio podcasts, or are these YouTube podcasts? No,
I put them on YouTube as well, but it's funny because, again, Ollie and I go back and forth on this all the time. It's for every God, I'm trying to think how would it work out? For every 1,000 downloads, there's roughly about 10,000 audio to video. Yeah. If that makes sense.
But then,
so yeah, I've started putting it on YouTube, but it's only something I've done in the last year, and I'm trying to put a little bit more editing into it.
Yeah, but
so if you watched Warner's one, that was pretty good on YouTube.
I didn't watch it. I did wonder what jacket, what jersey, what motorcycle, or whatever the fuck. That's super.
But people are starting, like you were saying, people are, the young kids are watching YouTube all the time, and I know for me that I do watch a lot of podcasts, but it's only because it's got to be really high quality, and that's one thing I've been really nervous of with this, is the quality wasn't right. But with this new system, if all this goes to plan, it will be in HD quality. It is a bit easier for people to sit and watch it, whereas if it's just, a split frame and it's in shit quality, you're not going to watch it.
So when you do your YouTube, can you just change the screen sizes? Can you do screen takeovers? If I send you a gallery of images, then you can have that on the main thing, and then I can talk over the image. I'm asking the most basic video editing
you could do that. You could do that. So then you could do that. So you could have. So then you could have Ollie here, for example, and you could talk about a picture which is on the screen.
So that way, instead of me doing a YouTube channel, next time you want to chat, we'll just do that. We'll pick. I'll send you a gallery.
All right, let's do it.
Got a new segment.
I'll send you.
Let's do it.
I'll send you that folder with 14 years in 14 days. And there's and I cut it down to 100 photos per year for stories, which took me I couldn't believe what I'd started. Then Uncle's like, why? It literally took me all day.
Really?
Especially to access.
When do you want to do it? Let's do it. I'm keen. Let's do it as the next episode, or the next one after the next one, or something.
Whenever you wanted to do it. Let's see if you get If you in this podcast, if you get everyone tuning off after 5 minutes and you just have a massive drop off, then I probably won't get a return call from you, and then we'll know if it's worth doing the follow up, right?
Dude, let's do it. Ollie, if you're in, I'd love to sit and do that. It'd be amazing.
Please.
And then I'll know what to do.
Yeah?
Then I'll just copy you, and then I'll start my own YouTube channel, and we'll just talk about stuff.
Yeah. Perfect. happy, like, mate, I'm more than happy to help. Honestly, it'd be sick.
Yeah.
So you're
Sure,
literally,
well,
your effort requires you to just forward a Dropbox link. That's how you. That's what you've got it down to now. Your homework
edit-
you've managed to make into copy and paste Dropbox link.
My edit sounds like it's going to be pretty hard on that one.
You didn't realise there was a little bit of effort in 14 years to get the images that are in that
No one
Dropbox.
cares about
Shut up, come on.
Fuck.
What else were you going to do in quarantine anyway? You just...
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny? I was listening to your hospital story. You going in, and this story is kind of funny because 10 days before I did this, I was in the ER getting x-rays on this exact same hand for having a massive crash. I thought I broke my hand, like for sure. We cut our trip short from Queenstown. This is after McGazza the Monday after, and we were going to do a big surf trip. I just drove straight to Nelson overnight, like a big long drive, got x-rays. In the end, it wasn't broken. It was just the scapholunate ligament was stretched, like a grade 2. And the doctor's like, just stay off for a week and feel the pain. And then literally a week later, I go riding with the kids. Uncle's like, don't follow the kids, don't follow the kids. And I'm like, I'm following the kids, I'm following the kids. Blew off the track, pinky off, go in. And all I'm thinking is like, I'm going to the ER again. It's like, I hope the same nurses, I hope it like, it's a hope, all different stuff. I go there and the first like nurse is also like, she's also she's not the nurse, she's the main person. She's also like the chairman of the mountain bike club here. And we're the biggest mountain bike club in the country. And she's like, why, what? And I'm like, yeah, same hand, other thing. And then I'm like, as long as the x-ray technician's a different person, and she's all confused, I get in there and she's like, did I do something wrong? Do you need a follow-up x-ray? Like, is the surgeon, I thought we were all good. Like, what? I'm like, no, it's just me again. And yeah. So I lived here for like 10 years and I've only like had stitches once in the ER and another surgery one other time. So 12 years, like, and then I go twice in like 9 days. So, yeah. but we have no COVID and the doctors have got nothing to do, so I can do that.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, do you think is this a bit of a you're talking about last week's episode and the dangerous like tree jam, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Craig Evans would have done that first try on the shitty one with shitty landing? I think so.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Have you not seen like a more sketchy, skilled rider that can do anything on the work? Those guys don't even bother building fucking perfect things. They just scrape. They barely put landings.
I know.
They look at stuff. There's no way.
I've seen him jumping off a roof today.
Yeah, no one would bother doing that shit. And then Craig would be like, yeah, that's on. Because I put it, I commented on his Instagram, and then it was like just crickets. I was like, oh shit, do you think he deleted that, or he just like didn't like that comment at all? But anyway, I reckon how like you should
mate the roof up there in Stocksbridge, man.
Yeah, it's hard life. Anyway,
that's the shit you got to do to get out of there. Oh man, thank you so much, Sven. Honestly, man, I know we've gone back and forth for it feels like years trying to do one of these. And the fact that you said that you've listened, honestly, man, it means so much. So thank you so much for being a guest and for being so fucking rad. Like, thank you so much. I was telling Ollie before we started recording, I thought I'd pissed you off because I hadn't replied quick enough, and I was like a little bit nervous. So
I feel like shit. Was I like asking to be on the show, or did they ask me? I was like, fuck, that's kind of weird. Maybe they awkwardly. Maybe I was hinting to. Maybe I wasn't hinting. I was like commenting. I was like, did I fucking ask to be on a fucking? And then I was like, shit. I was like, maybe I was asking it, but I wasn't. I didn't think I was. And I was like, maybe. And then I was like, and then I realized fucking Old's just too fucking stupid. He doesn't realize we're on a different time zone, and that I'm sleeping and you guys are awake.
Well, I thought you were an hour ahead. I think I can't remember.
Yeah,
what it
you
was.
said an hour and ahead. 13 hours.
Yeah, I'm 12 out, man. Give me a break. Come on, it's only half a day.
Anyway.
Oh man. But no, thank you, Sven. Thanks for being a guest. Let's do it again. 100%, man. 100%.
Cheers, dog. You're the man.
Let's have a think. Maybe gather the images and we'll go through them. It'd be so much fun.
I look forward to that one.
And then
if you
we'll do it. We should do And we do it in person sometime, you know.
Oh man, 100%. I think that's what we were waiting for there. I remember like last time we were going back and forth, we thought we were going to be in the same spot or something, and it,
I don't even know
just didn't happen. So
Fort William's going to happen this year, so who knows, you know. I think Maribor's going to be delayed, who knows.
I think the first and only time I met you was Crankworks.
Yeah.
In Leger.
The Leger one.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy times. All right, man.
All right.
Thank you again so much.
Cheers,
honestly,
guys.
it means a lot.
Hey, when's
Cheers,
this
dog.
If you just leave your
when's
browser
this coming out?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Shit, that's quick. All right.
What day is it there? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Wednesday our time.
It's Tuesday next week already, though. That's why we have no COVID. We're ahead of everybody.
Oh, you're in the future.
It's much easier when you can see what's coming. You know, you just say, "Oh yeah, fuck it, we should lock down." No, we just beat you guys by like a day.
If you just leave your browser open when you exit, Sven, it'll upload all the files and then I can take it from
Hang
there.
on. So I hit the red hang up button and then leave Chrome.
Just leave the browser open.
Okay, good.
And then it'll give you a notification that all the files have uploaded.
So just hitting the red button. See you guys later.
Peace.
One love. Peace. All right.
It says leaving call, but I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Hello, mate.
Yeah.
You're right. I can see you as well.
I hit leave call. It's still fucking going. It says recording.
Really?
Hang on. Leave call. Doesn't want to hang up, bro.
Wait.
The
you could hang on.
bottom right of the screen, you hover over, it says leave call, and then I fucking click it.
Yeah.
It changes colour, but it doesn't actually fucking click.
Oh, really?
Hey, why don't you hang out for the end of the show?
Just stay.
I mean, I don't want to fucking crash the party.
Mate,
You think if you push,
Looks like you're fucking crashing
I'm like-
it, dude.
I'm like pushing harder on the trackpad, thinking it'll do something fucking different. It's old school.
yeah, you're still here, so just stay. Doesn't matter.
Well, I'll just like keep quiet.
Just stay.
I'll just keep quiet. Fucking fuck, bro. It doesn't.
It's cool.
I'm scared. I'm scared. If I try to do something else, I won't save the file and stuff.
Yeah, just stay, man. We'll just wrap up anyway, won't we, Ollie? Pretty quick. So
Yeah.
just stay, Sven. In fact, you can probably help.
Yeah.
So, Ollie,
Yes.
what do we normally do?
We normally do a bit of music and what I've been watching, or like tips and things to do. I've just been watching NBA games, to be honest. I've just been watching basketball. I've got the league pass. That's all I've been doing. So it's not that much of a good tip for people in lockdown. Also, Sven, you don't need any of these tips because you're out gallivanting around the countryside, riding your bike, surfing. You can piss off, dude. Even
you're on the injured list
you're
now,
on the
so-
injured list, so you can
Okay.
maybe you do, okay, so NBA League Pass, that's my suggestion to you.
And what about a song, Ollie? You've been listening to anything?
I've been listening to Do You Believe by the Beatnuts. That's my song of the week. Bing 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 bing. What skate video section is that from?
You asking me?
Sven will have seen that exact section. I actually think it was a 411.
No, I think it was a Transworld, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
Nailed
That's
it.
so sick, dude. 'Cause
Maybe Manic Muddy? I don't know.
Holy fuck! You know the song I mean, though, right? Do you
Yeah,
believe? Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing. That's quite good, actually. We got a mic here. I could actually do some.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, that's my song.
All right, I just been doing watching. There's a really cool new Netflix series called We Are the Brooklyn Saints, which is about kids American football, and it's quite good. It's only four episodes, so if anyone's stuck for something to do for 4 hours, then you can bang it out. It's really good. It's about like underprivileged kids playing American football to sort of like learn discipline and stuff like that. It's pretty nice.
Oh, nice.
What have you been watching, Sven? Have you got anything on Netflix or anything like that stands out?
We plowed through all those things the first lockdown, and then
Right.
because we came back to here and it's summer and we got like long days, we did so much online shit for the first half of last year that we kind of just doing the opposite of it now.
I'm so fucking jealous.
I should just so not much not much looking.
Fuck, this guy.
Yeah.
This
Sorry,
guy,
bro.
so annoying. And listening, I've got what I've been listening to. Oh, King Flex, a song called "Look at Me Now,"
Look at me now, King
which
Flex.
I discovered through a YouTuber. Believe it or not, fucking YouTubers as well, man. You know, putting out songs as well. A YouTube guy called Destroy, again, is actually an NFL player, but he plays good music on his thing, so I found it and it's good. Look at me now. Look at King Flex.
I think it's just this whole thing. Like, I think you have to be a celebrity or an online celebrity to be successful at anything. Like you just said, he's an NFL guy that's got a YouTube that's got a song. It's like you
Crazy, eh?
having talent's just not good enough anymore. You've got to be like famous on whatever apps the kids are using to get anywhere. You know, obviously, there's breakthrough of everything in every sport and every genre, but fuck, what does the world come to?
You on TikTok, Sven?
I did like have a look, and then I was like, nah, it's a little. Like, it kind of feels weird if you're 47-year-old and there's just like 13-year-old girls dancing your phone.
Dude, it's so
And then
weird.
it's worse
It's a
if you
mystery,
look,
isn't it?
if you look at you look at one Instagram reel, right, of like, I was like, you let one. Or somebody grabs your phone and looks at one like provocative lady doing one of those.
I knew that's why
reels.
I knew that's why you were skirting around.
You're in the algorithm, and that's
Your
it.
explore page is just littered. Like, yeah, fuck.
Uncle, it's not me. It was Boris. It was Boris. He was looking at bikini birds.
But for sure, the microphones are always on because you'll talk about anything and then it'll pop up, an ad will pop up on
it's
Facebook
creepy,
or
isn't it?
Instagram. So yeah.
So creepy.
It's a trip, man. It's a trip. It's annoying. And then I think we should probably wrap up, but let's just do a little shout out for a small business because these things seem to be going really well. People dig it. I know Dave have had some positive effects, and foundation from the last one too. So this week's UK small business, MTB Vans, and this dude is called Joel. Joel reached out when we first put the thing out, actually, Ollie, and I've not got around to doing it. So Joel runs MTB Vans, based up here, actually, in the Peak Fukin district in Macclesfield. And I'm just going to read what he said because it's usually better. So he creates custom vans aimed at riders and outdoor enthusiasts. He was doing it part-time as a side hustle, but after the pandemic got made redundant, so he basically started this business properly. So he does, let me try and think. So a whole range of different van options, from conversions through to carpet lining, through to like fork holders, you know, those cool ones you get so your bike doesn't rattle around in the back of a van or G-Wagon or whatever you drive.
What is with all the...
Yeah, just like electric.
Sorry.
Go on.
You finish up.
No, go on.
Small business. Finish up. Sorry.
And that's pretty much it anyway, so you can check them out, mtb_vans, www.mtbvans.co.uk. So if you want an accessory or even you want to buy a full van,
www.mtbvans.co.uk.
mtbvans.co.uk.
There you go. Come at me, Sven. What you got, dude? What you got?
No, it's coming out the whole of the UK in general. Like MTB Vans, every mountain biker should own a van. And like, I'm not saying like I do great in photography, but like I've worked hard and for long, and I got a bit of a hustle going. And I like drive a 1991 Toyota Land Cruiser, 30 years old, 400,000 kilometers. You have these British media squids, and like, never mind the riders with all their fucking Ferraris and Porsches and all that. But you got G-Wagons, and then you got these UK squids. They're driving around fucking Lotuses and AMGs and fucking Audi R fucking 6.8 whatever. Like, they barely fucking got any fucking clients, and they driving around these fucking things. Have you guys become like America? You're just like living on credit, or is it just you can get good cars for like you can just get good cars for like good what the fuck? Or is it maybe?
I just think of media guys as rich guys. I'll be honest. No. And you're the king of the media guy.
No,
he's a rich guy.
My man.
Whatever you make, it's like 75% of it is expenses. So you make 1,000, it costs you $750 to make that 1,000. So like you can bill a lot, and then you end up actually with nothing at the end of the day. So it's deceiving. It's like you know, yeah, it's especially these days. If you're living like me, I leave the house, and then for 7 months I'm like, you're paying to sleep somewhere or eat 3 meals a day because
that is weird, isn't it? Yeah,
insane. I bet your expenses are just off the chain.
Yeah.
Still, you can do a bit better than your car, dude.
Well, I had five cars between us.
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh,
Ferrari,
the truth comes out.
No. That is the one got washed away in Malini. There was a flood, and our van got washed 20k down the river, and Uncle's got an even older Berlingo, and then like we've got so there's no.
I'm trying to give you shit, but I love your Land Cruiser, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So I don't feel sorry for you.
Like a Land Cruiser.
Transfer case needs a new gasket or seal, so it's always something,
It's tough, man. It's tough out there. So
not for some.
Is there anything else we normally do, Ollie, or is that it? I think that's pretty much it, isn't it? Like, we got Valentine's Day coming up, so big up all the people celebrating Valentine's Day. You got any plans for that, Ollie? Like Valentine's Day, Sven?
No, but I'd like to thank you for reminding me.
I got you, bro. I got you. And everyone else listening to this is like,
oi lads, it's Valentine's Day.
I was
going to do some Valentine's Day merch, but I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
I was so late on remembering that it was Uncle's birthday that I got her something really cool, and I think it's going to arrive just in time for Valentine's Day, because her birthday was just like last week. So it's going to be like, oh, that was the best thing. And I was like, yeah, that was meant to be your birthday present. So yeah.
Double whammy. Well, we don't really do it up here with me and my missus, but
don't celebrate
not really.
No?
Like we she's really great actually, because she doesn't like fancy restaurants or anything like that. Like, not to go too deep into it, but our second date I took her to this like really fancy restaurant, and she's at that point she was vegetarian, she's vegan now, and she looked at the menu and she was like, I don't like anything on here, can we go to the chip shop? And I was like, fuck yeah, sick, let's go. So yeah, we don't, our little thing was we go to the chip shop and that's it.
Made in heaven there.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So alright guys, well, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening. Sorry we've not done any listener questions again, but we'll do some on the next episode. I feel bad, I keep putting that out and we never get to it, but we'll get there. And thank you, Sven.
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, dude.
Thanks, Sven, you're the man.
I still don't know how to hang up, on how if I don't hang up it can't save me.
Let's stay
well,
all
basically
night.
This is your show, so Ollie and I are going to go and you're just going to do the rest.
Yeah, but none of my buttons are fucking doing anything. I'm like hitting leave call, it doesn't leave call.
So we're just going to leave it with you. You probably try and wrap up in like half an hour or something. Just, you got it.
You got this. Thanks for listening, everyone.
I'm going to be like,
welcome to the Sven lockdown.
Right, let me end this thing and it should keep us all in here anyway. Oh.
You are part
National lockdown. Lockdown. The lockdown companion.